Hey, Storm Team 8 Chief Meteorologist Ellen Bacca here, back because the National Weather Service has just now issued 3 new warnings. These are severe thunderstorm warnings, and it's for Muskegon County, Ottawa County, Allegan County for this line of storms. It's issued for severe weather in terms of straight line wind gusts and the possible tornado. So in terms of the intensity, again, 70-mile-per-hour winds possible at this. It's moving very fast. So this is one we want you to take pretty seriously. I'm just going to do a few arrival times for you so that depending on where you live within these warning areas, you have a bit of a heads up as to when it's going to arrive. So this is, again, the severe thunderstorm warning issued for Muskegon County, Ottawa County, and Allegan County. Should be arriving, I would say, by 8:40, maybe even a touch faster. In addition to this, it looks like this Boeing line segment may head right into Grand Rapids, closer to about 9 o'clock or just after. Now, we just mentioned that the wind speed within the storm is pretty potent. We're talking wind speeds close to 70 miles per hour possible. Fastest wind speed right now is just offshore of Holland by about 20 miles or so. This will likely continue to track just to the north. So again, please take this one seriously. The wind speed just as strong as a weak tornado possible within the next hour to 2 hours. We're going to go ahead and release you back to your normally scheduled programming, but we are going to begin streaming live now on woodtv.com, Wood TV Plus, Facebook, and YouTube. Of course, we'll be back to break in, potentially doing continuous coverage on some channels for some of the severe threats as they make landfall. Hello, West Michigan. Thank you for joining us. I'm Storm Team 8 Chief Meteorologist Ellen Bacca. Blake Harms is here. Sara Flynn is here. And we're fully staffed along with our intern Maddie to watch this line of strong to severe storms as it's getting ready to roll onshore. Now, we want you to take this one seriously. It does look like it should be powerful enough to drop a lot of trees depending on where it makes impact. Power outages, even a tornado is possible. So we're going to start with our still frame here. So this shows us the latest on Storm Track Live, and we're looking at the wind currently. The green means it's inbound winds, and you'll notice that we have this bright green that's moving towards the lakeshore quite quickly at about 60 miles per hour. That is fast. And this is only about 20 miles offshore from places like Holland, Port Sheldon, West Olive. So you have less than 20 minutes to maybe get inside, away from windows, head to that lowest level, knowing that this system is going to be passing through pretty quickly. Few arrival times for you, 8:42 potentially just north of Holland, and then this likely will head towards Grand Rapids. Looks like as early as 9 o'clock, and then the east side of Grand Rapids closer to about 9:18. And this line has had a history of producing damage. Let me show you the classic reflectivity modes. This is what you guys are probably more used to seeing. And you'll notice that it's a pretty gnarly line. It has a lot of power, a lot of lightning, and the severe thunderstorm warning includes Allegan County because we do have a few more segments of this line that are also starting to bow out and could potentially produce some rotation. So even though this is a severe thunderstorm warning, we definitely want you to take this one as seriously as if it was a tornado warning for a weak tornado. Tornadoes definitely possible today. We have a lot of low-level spin, especially over West Michigan, not even over Lake Michigan right now. So one of the big questions that we've been asking is how is this line going to be interacting throughout the day? And it's been really touch and go. It looked very messy earlier on. It started to get its legs, has a lot of upper level support, and that upper level support is driving it now. Once it makes its way on shore, it's also going to be pulling in some of that surface support. So this is why we've been messaging for several days that this is one that you want to pay attention to, and you want to do better safe than sorry. Again, moving at 60 miles per hour, by the time we get to 11 p.m., this one's done and gone, and the severe threat drops. So in the short term here, we just urge you to stay plugged in, start thinking about where your safe place in your house is if you live in a trailer or you're thinking about driving through this time. Just know that that might not be the safest option. So mobile home users, usually mobile homes in Michigan are rated to wind gusts of about 60 to 70. This is warned for winds as high as 70. So if there's a way for you over the next hour or so to maybe just head to a sturdy building, I would recommend that. And again, it's still offshore, so you got a little time to collect your things and head to the closest building that you feel safe in, knowing that you're only going to have to camp out there for a good 30 or 40 minutes or so. The northern half of this line, north of Muskegon, isn't looking as powerful, but this entire system has been lifting ever so subtly to the northeast. So at times, the wind has been bowing south, but the entire cell is lifting northeast. That's why we have such a widespread warning. And I would not be surprised if this continued into Kent County, Ionia County, Kalamazoo County. We actually have more storms off to the south that we're going to be watching for you. That might arrive a little bit later, closer to about 9:30. In fact, let's go ahead and show you that just briefly. I'm just going to zoom out quickly. Few tornado warned cells here just south of Chicago. We have had some impressive tornadoes in the Illinois area, and impressive is not what you want when it comes to tornadoes. You like them to not occur or be weak. Anyway, we have had some confirmed tornadoes that do look like they are going to try to lift at least the cells that are producing them close to the Indiana state line. So that is something that we're going to be watching very closely, but that's still a little bit of a ways off. I would say a good hour yet before we really have to pay attention to that. So bottom line, tornado watch is for everyone in West Michigan. This goes until 2 a.m. But truly, I think that this is going to be over much quicker than that, probably 11 p.m. and then we can start to call the all clear. Again, Blake Harms is here with me along with Sara Flynn. Blake, we've been looking at the velocity data too, and it really looks like this one has a solid wind core to it.
Very much so, Ellen. Just looking at radar right now. In fact, I'm going to just, excuse me while I step out of frame for a moment, I'm going to change my monitor over so that you can see what I'm pointing at here. But we are tracking what I believe to be very strong line of storms. I mean, this is approaching the lakeshore. As you mentioned, too, the other concerning part about this line is that it may be approaching our most populous part of our viewing area. So the leading edge right here is where we're likely going to see the strongest winds, right in this bow that is essentially between about Grand Haven and Saugatuck. And if we look at the wind tracker here, the strongest winds are located right in this little area offshore of Holland, and that is by about 20 miles. So as this keeps tracking essentially in the direction of, I would say if we watch this part right here, north-northeast, or east-northeast rather, that's going to be putting it in the Holland area, eventually southern Ottawa County, including Hudsonville, Jenison, likely south side of Kent County, and that's just the strongest part of this wind. It's always tricky with these lines as they come on shore, trying to figure out exactly how much of this is going to make it to the ground, how much of this wind is going to make it to the ground. What the radar is doing is sampling the wind a few thousand feet up and saying this is how strong it is up there, but it takes something pushing that wind down to the surface for us to get it at the ground. So it's always hard because in other parts of the country you can just watch it come on land. Here we're in the middle of open water right now, so until it hits the lakeshore, it's difficult to tell just how strong this is. But I tell you what, Ellen, just looking at pure radar presentation, this thing looks to be significant. So as Ellen mentioned, I believe the speed on this was east at 60 miles per hour. Is that correct, Ellen?
Correct, yes.
Okay. So let's just get a fresh track on this. That's one of the things we're going to be doing all night, is just keeping a very close eye on the leading edge of this line and any other storms that develop. So this is moving east at about 60. Notice that's going to put it into Grand Rapids here within the hour, likely close to around 9 to 9:15. So just a few communities right along the lakeshore that are expected to be impacted first. Holland State Park right around 8:40, Saugatuck 8:42, Port Sheldon 8:42, Ganges right around 8:45, Grand Haven State Park right around 8:45 as well, South Haven just after 8:45, Fenville right around 8:50, Over Isle, Robinson Township right around 8:50 as well. And again, this is going to keep blowing east very quickly. If I were to try to put, let's see, I'll try to name some of the bigger cities in here. Just to kind of do another track for you. Looks like our radar's in the middle of updating right now. So 60 miles per hour, and if I were to adjust this to maybe name some bigger cities here, there we go. So this is we're looking at again, Grand Rapids, Kentwood, all within the next hour. Wayland within the next hour. Likely right around or just after the 9 o'clock time frame there. We're looking at Rockford, Northview, Walker, essentially all of Kent County. This is going to be blowing through you very quickly. And so this is a line that is, just like last night, is moving very, very fast. And there isn't going to necessarily be a whole lot of lead time before this rolls through. Now, again, we do have that severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect until 9:45. So this is a long duration warning. And again, the Weather Service does a good job of just getting those warnings out right along the lakeshore as the line approaches. So again, I think if you're in Holland, the last few times we've had a line like this, it's been focused on the Grand Haven, Muskegon area. I think Holland, you're going to get the strongest winds out of this. And again, this is going to be coming here. If this is moving at 60 miles per hour, and again, that is booking it. We're looking at an arrival time in Holland right around 8:42, so just over 15 minutes away, again, as it should be hitting the Holland Lake shore. What we're also going to be watching is potential for rotation. Thankfully, not seeing anything too substantial yet. This looks to, as of right now, be a damaging wind threat. The one interesting thing to note, and I'm going to double check here before I say it, is my guess is that we're starting to see a bit more of perhaps tornado parameters increasing in the southwest corner of the state. We've talked about that all evening. So what'll be interesting is as these storms eventually make their way in, notice this part of the line is more focused on the northern part of our viewing area, so north of I-94. Watching to see what fills in here will be interesting as we head through the evening. We do have, looks like a confirmed tornado in northwest Indiana that is going to be passing just south of Gary. And that looks like it's going to be a very close call there. That's a populated area. Confirmed tornado warning for parts of Lake County, Indiana, and that'll be tracking eventually just north of Valparaiso if it continues. So no doubt that's why we're watching the tornado parameters so closely, is because they have been producing tornadoes further to the south. So again, that's just kind of what I'm seeing right now. This line looks healthy. Of course, one thing we can do to check its strength is to see how much lightning it's producing. And even if it's weakening right now, we do have some energy in the atmosphere. Sometimes what we'll see is as soon as these storms hit the lakeshore, they'll start to intensify. I've seen that several times. My guess is we're going to see something similar to that tonight. But even then, this thing is maintaining its form. It is bowing out. You see the apex there, and that is indicative of a potentially substantial straight line wind threat. So that's just a little bit about what I'm seeing right now, Ellen.
Yeah.
And again, it looks like 8:40-ish arrival time to Holland State Park.
Something else that I've been noticing, I was kind of checking into that velocity data as you were talking and giving those fresh tracks, which are so helpful. Because we're seeing this line start to lift out, we have two different wind events that we could be seeing here. The first of which headed towards southern Allegan County, and then this one headed towards Holland north into Grand Haven. So again, here's the storm line. Little bit of rain is starting to move towards Holland now, but most of the wind is back behind. So if we look at the base velocity, this again shows us the wind data. We're now using Grand Rapids radar instead of Milwaukee's, so we're going to start to get some fresh scans. But notice we have a little wind burst here. And if we use our measuring tool just to kind of get a sample, this is coming in at 73 miles per hour. Granted, it's pretty high off the surface. And then this one that's moving in closer to the Holland area has anywhere between 60 to 72 mile per hour wind gusts. So it's almost in two batches here, but the entire thing is lifting towards, right now, Allegan County, Holland, and then up towards the Grand Haven area. A lot of lightning with this. If I just take this back 15 minutes ago, here's the storm progression. So you can see tracking at about 60 miles per hour, but look at how this is filling in and lifting east and northeast. So again, taking it back to about 8:13, and here's now just before 8:30. I would say right about here, as Blake was mentioning, is kind of the impact zone for 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. This is also, unfortunately, Holland, going to be a little bit of our litmus test to see if this storm line is able to produce damage before it continues to track across Ottawa County into Kent County and then the eastern portions of Allegan County. Now, Grand Haven, again, you've probably noticed when I stepped this back and then pushed it back forward, how originally looked like a narrow zone. But as we're playing this out 15 minutes forward, it really has filled in on that northern fringe right about here. Now, something that we noticed when this was on the other side of Lake Michigan in Racine, there was a little hook that formed in the radar, a little spin. And because of that, there was also a tornado warning that was issued along that line. So as this rolls on shore and it interacts with that shoreline boundary, we're also going to have to watch to see if we get any of that rotation to kick up along this line. As we've been mentioning today, if you've been joining us either today or yesterday, it's very much a possibility. So very messy line in that we have some of these downpours that are lifting out ahead of it. But in general, we're watching inside the storm for where the wind is actually living, so to speak, because that's what's going to be the more impactful thing rather than just the sprinkles that are on shore right now. So my concern is that we might have folks that are on shore in Grand Haven, Holland, Port Sheldon, West Olive, and they're like, oh, this is it. It's just a little bit of light rain. But again, if we use that other tool to look inside, there's a lot of wind hiding just back behind. So all in all, this is moving quite quickly, 60 miles per hour or so. As we've been doing, we're going to continue to draw a few fresh tracks on here. I don't know if we have access to the Grand Haven camera either. That might be a really helpful tool if we can pull that up. But Holland, okay, yeah. So you can see the rain coming into Grand Haven, as we just mentioned. It doesn't look severe yet, but again, Grand Haven, not too long from now, looking like maybe 8:50, we could get hit with a powerful wind gust. Following that, north of Grand Haven, potentially cutting through the Coopersville area at about 9:16, and then north of Grand Rapids into the Belmont area close to about 9:23. So as this storm continues to change, we'll continue to give you some fresh tracks, but that's what's looking like the latest, at least for now. South Haven, right now you're just on the fringe. You'll probably get a good light show just to the north of where you live, but 8:53 for an arrival time, and we'll continue to watch to see if any of these cells build back out to the south. So that really is the story for now. Notice south of this line, we have kind of a bit more patchwork cells that are coming together. That doesn't mean they're any less severe. They could very well roll on shore, interact with some instability that's just hovering here, and really take off. So that is something that we're going to be watching very closely.
If you guys could take the South Haven cam, we have a beautiful shelf cloud that's developing and moving closer. That really impressive view, and you know, with the storm coming in just before sunset, you can get a beautiful shot of it. There it is behind you.
There.
You can take,
oh yeah,
there we go.
Here you go.
Check that out.
So again, South Haven is kind of getting missed. It's rolling right to the north at this current moment. Does not mean that's the way it's going to be all night. But yeah, I'm just going to step out for a second. Wow. Good eye, Blake.
Really good structure on that line.
Gosh. And anytime you see that shelf, that looming precipitation behind it, you just know it means business in a bad way.
Ellen, I got to just mention one quick thing. We have looks like a large tornado on the ground in northwest Indiana. So I know we have some folks who have family down there. Just north of Merrillville, there is a confirmed large tornado. And in fact, I'm just checking in on it, on the status of it. It looks like it certainly is on the ground right now. And that just shows you the kind of environment we are in. There is a particularly dangerous situation tornado warning that is in effect. This is for Merrillville, Indiana. So just to kind of get your bearings, just south of Gary, this is where the tornado is right here. Just north of the town of Merrillville, but you can, oh my goodness, that is a lot of debris there.
Yeah.
Just north of Merrillville, crossing I-65. So this is an environment that is prime for tornadoes. Ingredients a little better down there, but I know we have some folks who have friends down in northwest Indiana, and that is a pretty scary sight in a fairly populated area, part of northwest Indiana as well. And again, remember, we remain in that tornado watch because the parameters are in place for the possibility of tornadoes. So that is perhaps, unfortunately, the strongest tornado signature of the day so far. Right there in northern Indiana tonight.
Looks like it's moving northeast at 25, which of course could change, especially when the ambient wind for us is moving at, like, we've been sampling about 40 to 45 for our storm motion at times. And then of course this line that's bowing has an extra kick, so it's coming in at about 60. That's also been something that's been a bit tricky today, is the fact that different portions of this line are tracking at different speeds. So you really have to pay attention so that you're not, you know, planning your arrival time on something that's inaccurate. But something that I just wanted to keep an eye on, actually I'll use correlation coefficient as Blake was just mentioning. Here's the debris ball there. The reason why we're paying attention to this, because this is lifting northeast, and again, quite slowly Okay, so we got a little bit of time before this cell, unless it picks up speed, rolls into the Indiana state line, but that's close to about 1040, and that's still on the west side of South Bend. But just something else that we're going to be watching. And as Blake has been mentioning today, the tornado threat in terms of nationally has always been higher further to the south. I mean, my goodness, this entire line is tornado warned, but we still could see a warning ourselves in West Michigan. The ingredients are still favorable for that, unfortunately. So here is the biggest line that we're watching, and already it's kicking out some rain just ahead of it, rolling into I-96 as we speak, but the wind is still offshore. Let's go ahead and zoom in on that again. And it's still holding together, in my opinion. Blake, I don't know if you're seeing anything different, but
yeah,
that wind surge still looks like it's bowing. Holland, north side of Holland. Go ahead.
I'm just watching to see if we may start to get a little notch along this line. There's been one that has been, I don't want to call it necessarily persistent, but this little spot right in here where the line kind of dips in. And if we look at our rotation tracker, it's, I mean, a little south, but same idea, right along that part of the line. And just given the parameters that we're working with tonight, I do think it's a possibility that we get another night of these quick spin-up tornadoes. I think the concerning part is that the parameters are such where we could see something maybe a little more than just a brief, quick spin-up, at least in my opinion, especially as this thing, you know, first reaches the lakeshore. Thankfully, no imminent sign of that, but that is something we are going to have to keep a very close eye on. Again, considering too the other circumstances regarding other parts of the Midwest that are receiving. Just looking at an update from the National Weather Service, and they're kind of saying the same thing. Greatest tornado threat likely to be along and just north of that apex. So this is the part of the line where we're going to have to watch, right? Essentially the part that's moving into Ottawa County.
Yeah, I just put a track on that there, and just estimating that it's moving at 60 miles per hour, even though it's lifting a little bit more to the northeast. You can start to see a little bit of that rotation right here using classic velocity data. And this might bring it just south of Port Sheldon. So I would say anywhere from Holland to Port Sheldon, to even north of Port Sheldon, you just have to be aware that your wind speed might even be faster than 70 miles per hour. It could be as high as 80 or even 90 if you can get that spin-up tornado. That usually adds just a little bit of velocity. That's the only rotation that I'm seeing at this point in time, Blake, as well as just the general wind threat that we're seeing.
I agree. Just trying to keep an eye on things. This is kind of not the calm before the storm per se, but just kind of waiting. And again, we're in such a unique part of the country where we have to wait for these things to come on shore to see what they're actually capable of. So if you're in Allegan County right along the lakeshore, Ganges, Douglas, Saugatuck, soon to be Fenville, Glen, you're starting to see some rain, likely some lightning. There's really not a ton of lightning with this line right now, at least according to our software. Not as much as maybe you'd expect. Now, I don't think that's necessarily an indicator of wind potential, but it is interesting. You know, a lot of these times with these lines, we see just a ton of lightning, and there isn't quite as much of a signal for that here. But you can see heavy rain. I still think the main threat for wind is going to be a little further west. So you'll get the first round of rain to come in, and then a few minutes later, this leading edge right here is the most likely part of the line, I think, to produce damage. But we're going to keep watching this part because it, you know, does have the potential to strengthen now that it's on shore. I don't see any major wind signature. As you mentioned, the strongest wind signature right now is offshore of Holland, where radar is estimating upwards of 70 to 80 miles per hour. And again, we won't know if that's going to make it to the ground until it actually reaches the lakeshore. We start looking at damage reports, wind reports, so on and so forth.
Yeah, just looking at current temperatures, just to see how everything is interacting. We still have quite a bit of heat and that southerly wind flow. So if you think about it, the storms are coming in from the due west. The surface wind is coming in from the south or ever so subtly the southeast. So that's a perfect environment to start that spin. So this line, as it rolls on shore, will be interacting with new heat, especially off of Lake Michigan, and it will continue to have that low-level support as well as the upper-level support of some pretty fast winds aloft. That's what's been helping to kind of keep that line going. Just a reminder, if you're just joining us, we do have a tornado watch for everyone, not just those folks that are under severe thunderstorm warning currently. This goes through areas as far north as Muskegon County, Newaygo County, at Mecosta, Isabella. So everyone tonight just needs to be extra weather aware. I do think that by the time it gets around 11 p.m., the storm line will likely be closer to Battle Creek, Ionia, starting to move out of the area. And a lot of that is dependent on the forward moving speed. Sometimes when you get these Boeing segments, they push the entire line in much faster than it otherwise was tracking. For example, this line earlier was moving closer to about 40, 45, but the Boeing segment is tracking in at about 60 miles per hour. So you really do have to kind of consider it a play-by-play. The good news about fast-moving wind is you only experience it for a little bit, and then it's clear once more. I feel like it really is a waiting game, as you were mentioning, Blake, just waiting and watching for this to roll on shore. And it's going to be a little difficult today to verify initially because we've had a lot of power outages that are still lingering in place.
True.
Our consumers outage map is still at 17,828 affected. Now, we don't have as many of those outages in Muskegon, Grand Haven, or Holland. So if we start to see some new ones popping up, especially in Ottawa County, that will be an aha moment for us that this wind is making it to the ground. And I do think that there's enough in place that it will make its way to the ground, especially considering storms earlier today were successfully able to do that. But right now, starting to see that brighter bullseye of wind. I'm going to go ahead and sample that really quickly.
Ellen, I'm just going to ask you, with this surge approaching Holland, do you want to go back on TV for a few minutes? What do you want to do?
I do.
Okay.
And if this, in fact, comes in at 86 miles per hour, that's strong.
Yeah.
That's as strong as a small tornado. So I do think that we need to pause for a moment here, cut in on all four, go ahead.
Three.
All
not
three
OTV,
channels.
right.
And then, Kyle, if you could run the crawl on the fourth, that would be perfect. Hello, everyone. Storm Team 8 Chief Meteorologist Ellen Bacca here alongside Sara, Flynn, Blake Harms. We do have a burst of wind sampled in at about 86 miles per hour headed directly for Ottawa County. So this will likely include Holland, north to maybe just south of the Grand Haven area. And unfortunately, it looks like it's strong enough that this might receive a tornado warning. And so we are going to be staying on for all three channels for the foreseeable future here as this makes landfall. Because again, I do believe, working with our National Weather Service friends, that this is quite significant and that this has the potential to do damage. So looking with our radar tool, again, it looks like that wind burst is strong enough to produce winds of about 86 miles per hour. Currently, that wind burst, as well as some pretty strong winds just to the south of it, moving directly on shore for northern Allegan County and then southern Ottawa County into Holland. And then this surge of winds potentially right into the area south of Port Sheldon.
Tornado warning issued for Ottawa County. That's for that area right near Holland State Park. Moving east at 55 miles per hour. Timing it out, the Weather Service says it's going to be around Holland and Zeeland around 8:50, Hudsonville and Jenison around 9, and you see it is for a large part of Ottawa County. So this includes Port Sheldon Township, Holland.
There it is.
We have Zeeland, Hudsonville, Jenison, Georgetown Township, Allendale, Coopersville, all included within this tornado warning. And the main area of concern right now is this, what we call a couplet, right in here. So where we have winds flowing in different directions, that is where we're likely seeing the rotation. Now, if we were to zoom in, try to get a better idea of where this is on shore, this is almost just north of Riley Street. So near the Riley Street area, and then this will be traveling between Port Sheldon and Riley Street as it hits the lakeshore, south side of Port Sheldon Township. So especially if you're on the north side of Holland, let's call it anywhere north of Chicago Drive, you should probably be heading to your tornado spot right now. And in fact, pretty much everyone here in Ottawa County should be, because we are tracking damaging winds. In fact, so we have that tornado warning, but this whole line is capable of producing damage. And the thing that really does not look good about this is that it is bowing significantly right into Ottawa County. So we're likely to get very strong winds as this line moves ashore. This is tornado warning, by the way, in effect until 9:30, and they took it all the way out through the rest of Ottawa County.
This is moving just south of Port Sheldon. As Blake just mentioned, this is a good time to get into your safe spot. So again, a lowest level of a sturdy building, winds potentially of 86 miles per hour, which is an EF1 in strength. It's not a guarantee, but it does show us that the storm structure is definitely able to produce winds of that caliber. So right now, tracking where that couplet is, it's on the south side of Port Sheldon, but everyone along the lakeshore, especially in Ottawa County, likely going to be experiencing a burst of very fast winds as high as 60 to even 70 miles per hour possible. But this is moving towards Greenlee Street in Ottawa County, Butternut Drive, Riley Street, Berry Street. If I'm listing your street, you need to take cover now. Port Sheldon, anyone in the Port Sheldon area, this includes areas like 144th, Blair Street, Lakeshore Drive. Take cover now. This is moving onshore as we speak. In fact, our radar scan is showing that the reflectivity and the wind burst is literally just coming off of Lake Michigan. So I'm gonna have our producers keeping our eye on maybe the Holland cameras, especially the beach cam, just in case we're seeing anything over the water before it makes landfall. If anything, I think that as this rolls onshore, it could potentially produce even more disruption in terms of even more spin.
Ellen, just one quick note. This concerns me. Geneva camp right out at the lakeshore is going to be impacted by these winds, which could be in excess of 80 miles per hour, and there could be a tornado forming here. So if you're at Camp Geneva and you happen to be listening or watching, you need to be in your tornado spot or be getting there right now, because winds either equivalent to a tornado or an actual tornado are occurring. So just something I wanted to point out. That's some pretty vulnerable population out there, of course, right along the lakeshore. And then this is going to be tracking pretty much right along. It's going to be hitting the north side of Holland, as you mentioned. Quincy Park likely in the path of this as well. West Ottawa High School going to be very close to that as well. And this is going to keep tracking, I think, somewhere in the vicinity of Quincy Street, at least the very, very strong winds. Yep, there's Riley, there's Greenlee, and then we've got Quincy just a little farther north. So I just wanted to point that out. Looks like it has moved on shore as of this minute as well.
Port Sheldon, natural area, Van Buren Street, all places that need to take cover now. And this is going to be cutting quickly through Ottawa County. Blake's note of Camp Geneva is a huge one. Please take that seriously. If you know anyone else that's camping out at the lakeshore, anyone else that's not usually plugged in or weather aware, and they live in Ottawa County, you need to go ahead and pick up your phone, give them a call, and tell them to take cover now. The wind speeds continuing to hold as we've seen this come on shore, close to about 80 miles per hour in some cases. And that is enough to knock down healthy trees, not just damaged trees like we saw for the most part yesterday. Holland, you're likely going to continue to see fast winds move towards your area as well. And then this is headed towards Hudsonville. So Hudsonville, you need to be on alert, on standby, and this is moving very quickly. Again, tracking in, do you remember for the tornado warning, Blake, what forward speed they had?
55.
55, so 55 off to the northeast. This is going to be arriving quite quickly. So all in all, this is one that you want to take very seriously. I would say Hudsonville, 9:02 is a late estimate. I would get ready within the next 10 minutes, just head inside for a while, because again, a tornado could be on the ground or damaging wind gusts. Producers, I'm going to have you keep an eye on our consumers' outage maps and see if anything is popping right about here. It looks like a huge surge of wind currently on shore for some of those places that we've been mentioning. Riley Street, Greenlee Street, Ransom Street. This is headed directly towards New Holland Street, 144th and Butternut Drive. This is going to be lifting just subtly to the north-northeast. So if we track those areas that are about to be impacted, we're talking 124th Avenue, 116th Avenue, 112th, for winds as high as 60 to even 80 miles per hour with this wind burst. Holland, wind is still just a touch out, but you are in the tornado warning. Holland, get ready by as late as 8:52. So again, really just keep an eye on this. It's moving quite quickly. Fastest wind speed here, but this is still likely strong enough to take down some trees. So you don't want to be by windows. There's our Lake Macatawa Cam Boatworks. Man, that flag is fighting for its life there. Glad that people are inside at Boatworks and taking cover in a sturdy shelter, but gosh, it looks like our camera just froze, Blake, as it got slammed with those heavy winds.
Yeah. Just want to let people know, as you head to your shelter and you may not have a TV in your shelter, we have several ways you can listen and watch. So we are streaming on woodtv.com. We're streaming on Facebook, WoodTV8. We're streaming on YouTube at WoodTV8. Just heard from Emma at iHeart. We are now streaming on Wood Radio, 106.9 FM, B93.7, and Star 105.7. So if you have a radio in your basement, that's a way you can listen as well. And thank you to them as always. So just want to keep that in mind. I know sometimes it can be scary to try to get away from the TV set. You can either turn it up or start streaming us online. That is some nasty wind moving into Lake Macatawa. I have a feeling our outages are going to start to increase very quickly right along the lake shore.
Really, this tornado warning is just the northern fringe. We're still talking about the severe thunderstorm warning in Allegan County, too. Muskegon, you got a little ways yet, just a few more minutes before this line continues to track to the north. However, Allegan County, we likely have some very strong winds that are right on shore for you currently. So let me see if I can grab the latest velocity data. And this is northern Allegan County, technically not under the tornado warning, but still seeing some winds potentially as strong as 50 to 60 miles per hour near I-96. So this actually is not as significant as it could be, but it's rolling into an area of instability. So we're going to keep checking in on it. And it definitely doesn't mean that you're safe to go outside. Please do not take shelter in a vehicle. Every high wind event that we have, there's at least one instance where a tree ends up falling on a vehicle. And more times than not, everybody's fine because they haven't taken shelter in that vehicle. But occasionally that is not the case. So please, my biggest message to you is it's not a big window of time. Just find a building that you feel comfortable in, that you can go to the lowest level and away from windows, and just hang out there as this system rolls through.
I checked out this view, Ellen. Sarah just pulled this up. This is of downtown Holland. The tornado siren almost certainly going off, but the pole is swaying in the wind. You see a trash can was blown over. And Sarah mentioned she just saw some hail on here a moment ago. So no doubt this is a very strong storm. Of course, we start to use our cameras, power outage information. It does look like we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Van Buren County. That looks like it's for 60-mile-per-hour winds. But again, this tornado warning remains in effect for Ottawa County. Good news is, Ellen, in the last few minutes, I still think there's a damaging wind threat, but it looks like the values have come down just a bit over the last few minutes. So we were seeing just offshore 80 plus, and now looks like radar sampling
73.
70 to 75. Of course, still very much strong enough to do damage. And as this line moves ashore, I think our threat for spin-up tornadoes may increase. But encouraging that maybe the wind's coming down, at least for now, just a little bit. But of course, we're going to have to wait to hear some reports. And just the big picture of this, as you mentioned, this is a healthy line of storms that is going to be moving through the southern part of Ottawa County, northern part of Allegan County, eventually over to Kent before long. It looks like just after, as you mentioned, 9 o'clock or so.
Let's put a few tracks on this into Allendale, Hudsonville, up the 196 line into Grandville, because this likely, as Blake just mentioned, will continue to hold its intensity. And 60-mile-per-hour winds gusts are severe. 70 usually can knock down some healthier trees. When you get to 80 or 90, you see widespread tree damage. So as Blake just mentioned, too, we're very grateful that the 80 has dropped. Doesn't mean it's going to stay that way, though. There have been several instances the last few years where things kind of behaved close to the lakeshore, and then as they sampled more instability, we saw some of those wind reports even as far east as the airport. The airport has seen a lot of action. So we'll start with this bullseye here. This is going to be the first wind burst that we track. And this is lifting to the northeast at about 55 miles per hour or so. So basically towards the Hudsonville area. Arrival time roughly, again, 9:04 for Hudsonville. It looks like a portion of this line headed towards 196 through the Holland area and then just, east to 196. It's close to about 8:57. Looks like this will start to lift towards Granville, closer to about 9/11. And then let's see if I can zoom in a little bit closer here and still have it look clear for you guys at home. Sometimes it's so grainy that I'm unsure how helpful it can be, but we do try to call out street names so that you can kind of get your bearings. As Blake mentioned just 10 minutes ago, Chicago Drive. We do have some fast wind that's rolling right towards the Chicago Drive area. And if we sample what the radar is reading just above the ground, this is close to 64 miles per hour. So some rockin' winds headed towards Chicago Drive, Adams Street. Get away from windows as this passes through, and know that at any point in time you could see that damaging wind gust where you live, especially if you're in the Holland area and then just on the east side of Holland.
A few areas of enhanced wind, it looks like, Ellen, that kind of spread across southern Ottawa County. You just did a great job kind of showing it. But we have 3 distinct areas where it looks like winds may be in excess of 65 to 70 miles per hour. One near Port Sheldon, one on the north side of Holland, just moving over US 31, and then one that's essentially right on the east side of Holland. And if we loop this over the last 15 minutes, you can see the general direction of these is tracking east-northeast, so that is going to take it up into Zealand, eventually right toward Blendon Township, then Georgetown Township, and then Hudsonville and Jenison. And I mentioned a minute ago that the wind signatures came down just a bit from when it was just offshore, but this is still a very, very healthy line of thunderstorms. And we're just waiting on some of our first ground truth reports. If you can safely send us reports, pictures, videos, reports, whatever you have, do it please at woodtv.com/reportit. Again, that's woodtv.com/reportit. You're looking at a live view of Grand Haven, where there's some lightning, very strong winds. Our next camera we're probably going to want to turn to in a few minutes here is Jenison, as that gets closer and closer. But again, I think if we look at our rotation tracker, it's still indicating possibility of rotation along this line, really along the southern part of Ottawa County, essentially along and south of M45, Lake Michigan Drive. And so any part of this line will be capable of not only producing damaging winds, but perhaps also a brief spin-up tornado as well. And as you mentioned, Ellen, we've been talking about, I do think there's a possibility that we start to see a little more of that as this continues moving inland. And of course, the concern is that this is essentially the most populated part of our viewing area, so Ottawa County into Kent County as well. So if you're in Kent County yet, you don't have any warnings, I would imagine you're going to get one soon, probably severe thunderstorm warning. It's time to start making those preparations for some wind damage.
Just had a friend in the West Olive area safely send me a video. She said not much wind at her current location, and I said that's just as helpful for us because right now we're waiting for the ground truth, especially right on shore. We live in a very tricky area where we have open water, so we don't really get that ground truth until it actually hits land on this shoreline of Lake Michigan. So again, email us, woodtv.com/reportit. This is it written out. Blake just said it out loud for those of you that are joining us via radio with our radio partners, but that's super helpful when you feel safe to do so. And you can include your name, your location, what you've experienced, or a picture if there is damage. And that really helps us tailor our coverage as we move forward in time so that we know if this is a dire situation or if we know this is one to just take seriously and to monitor closely. Tornado watches for everyone still until about 2 a.m. This is the main line though, so once it passes through, Ottawa County, Allegan County, Van Buren likely will be expired in the next hour or so, if not sooner. And then looking at analysis, earlier, Sara Flynn mentioning a little bit of hail being spotted, and that is a possibility. So we're keeping our eye on some of the hail potential, likely penny-sized hail, but it does sound quite loud. And then in addition to that, helps to accelerate the wind from time to time as it's rolling on shore. So currently, just to do a little bit of a reset as to who's included, Muskegon County under severe thunderstorm warning, Allegan County under severe thunderstorm warning, and Van Buren County under severe thunderstorm warning for at least the next 20 minutes or so for some of these areas. And then Ottawa County, we have the tornado warning that's currently active, but we're not seeing much damage on the ground. I just checked consumers, couple of small outages currently. We're going to be watching that quite closely to see if more pop up. And then Muskegon, you really have not had too much happen for you quite yet. aside from the fact that the line has started to move on shore with some heavy rain and a little bit of lightning, but the wind threat for now is flipping to the south of Muskegon and really hugging Ottawa County. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Kent County and Barrie County, not Ionia yet. We're going to pause for just, actually, no, we're streaming and we're on 3 channels, yes?
Correct.
TV channels? Okay,
Correct.
We're good. I just wanted to make sure that we are crossing all of our T's, dotting all of our I's, making sure that we're getting the word out. So Kent County, Barrie County now included in the severe thunderstorm warning for this line as it continues to move in. And this is once again warned for winds as fast as 70 miles per hour, and it's still tracking to the east at about 55 miles per hour. So I would say fastest wind speed currently has made quick work and is moving towards Hudsonville. Something else I'm noticing, we are starting to get more of these turbulent notches.
I was just going to say, Ellen, and in fact, if we're able to take boxes with our GVSU Allendale camera, if you guys have that in the back, I pointed it west, so we should be getting to see the storm's approach. But you just brought up what I was thinking, Ellen, and it is that we're starting to see potentially these little notches start to form. So one that I think we're going to have to watch closely is right in here, where you notice this line, right, generally speaking, is kind of a curvature, but you likely have some sort of wind coming in this direction, or at least trying to, whereas the wind is going that way. So this is on the south side of Allendale, north side of Blendon Township. I can zoom in and get some streets. This is where we likely have the strongest winds, right over the center of Borculo, Port Sheldon, and 96th. And again, I heard another report from Zeeland, friend Zach, who said, you know, really wasn't all that bad, which is good news. You know, we're using our radar tools here. Thank you. That's a live view of Allendale, and that is the leading edge beginning to move in here shortly. And it's hard to pick out much. It's hard for us to zoom out our camera enough because the storms are so close. Of course, what we're watching is for any sort of maybe lowering in this line. And as of now, I don't see anything that jumps out, but of course there's also a lot of rain within this. So again, you're looking live at Grand Valley State University's campus in Allendale, where there is some wind that is just about to hit there. It looks like the strongest wind is just south, Zeeland area, Borculo, Blendon Township, soon to be moving into Georgetown Township, and there are a few areas where we're going to have to watch for possible rotation. In fact, if you can take graphics 2 for me real quick. Thank you very much. Right here. We have 2 areas that we were just pointing out. The one is right here over Borculo. The other is on the east side of Zeeland, traveling up I-196, probably not far from the rest area there along 196, where we not only have strong winds, but the possibility of a quick spin up. So another rinse and repeat, Ellen, where we have another event where as soon as this thing moves on shore, we start to see a bit more suspicious activity start to take place within this line.
Yeah, that's a good word for it, suspicious, because we're seeing what it is, just aloft. And then we are starting to get viewer reports, again, very helpful. Amber Kriska just taking a call from the newsroom and passing it our way, saying that they saw a pretty fast wind in the Zeeland area where this particular person lived, and then it just stopped and went dead calm. So kind of a weird feeling line here. One that we are going to continue to take seriously, and of course the National Weather Services as well, just because we're seeing the signature aloft. So hopeful that this continues to stay elevated and we don't see any surface damage come down in some of these hugely populated areas, because this is moving right into some of our most populated areas in West Michigan. We're talking the Grand Rapids metro area, and then areas around Grand Rapids, Cutlerville, Byron Center, over towards Grandville, Hudsonville. So again, please just play it safe. You are under a tornado warning in Ottawa County, and then Kent County. Just treat this again as fairly serious. Just stay away from windows for a touch here, and then let us know what you're seeing so that we can continue to pass that along to the people that are next in line waiting to see this storm roll through. So Hudsonville right around 9:07, Grantsville 9:10, Grand Rapids right around 9:18 or so. Allendale, currently it looks like this is a little bit weaker for you, 9:08, lifting towards the Walker area close to about 9:17, and then Northview closer to about 9:25 or so. So these are the locations that we're tracking for some of the intense winds. A little bit of a gust front here as well with the velocity data. So I'm going to take a moment to focus in on that. This is south of the tornado warned area and just hugging that Allegan kind of county line. So this is right around Adams Street, 24th Avenue, right around 34th Street. And it looks like estimated wind speeds for some of these spots in Allegan County, less, coming in at like 30 to 45 miles per hour. So that is a good sign. Really looks like, Blake, that even though this entire structure is bowing, there is a chance that we might only see damage for this portion of the line. And even that, it might not be to the ground yet, according to viewer reports.
Yeah, the fact that we're still watching the power outages closely, we haven't seen anything major. Just as this keeps getting closer and closer to the radar, that means the wind is closer and closer to the ground. So what you're seeing are outages mainly from yesterday, especially the ones that are highlighted in green. Those are power outages that happened when those storms rolled through yesterday. They did a good job, made good progress on taking care of them, but not all of them. So again, I think this line is trying to spin something up. It just isn't having luck yet. You see this little area right in here, this notch, where the line kind of kinks like that. And you compare it to our wind tracker, and we do have a bit of a dip in there. And then if we look at our rotation tracker, it's still showing some sort of signature there. It's trying, we just aren't there at this moment. And now it's pretty much on the doorstep of Hudsonville, moving through Georgetown Township. So this is near Port Sheldon and 40th, the leading edge of the wind. The strongest wind looks like it's now right along I-196, right near the 32nd Avenue exit, and then a little further north, Baldwin and 48th is where this strong wind is moving, right near Baldwin Street Middle School, up toward the 5th, 6th building up there. And winds there are estimated, according to radar, close to 70. Whether that's actually making it to the ground, we're not quite sure yet. All signs are that we may be avoiding the worst of it. But again, as this keeps getting closer and closer to the radar, it keeps scanning closer and closer to the ground. And I think as long as these signatures remain, that means we still have a chance of seeing some very strong winds. It looks like we're getting ready to get a potential new warning for Kent County, given what we're talking about, just these notches in the line that are trying to produce, but haven't been able to yet. So again, it's just one of those instances where can't let your guard down. It looks like the tornado warning was trimmed just a bit. So if you're in Holland, you're in the clear. Zeeland, leading edges behind you. Port Sheldon, Township, Grand Haven, the worst of the storm is past you. We're now focusing in on Jenison. I don't really love the look of that on radar, where it looks like the notch may be becoming a bit more pronounced, and that is right near Hudsonville. This is I-196, right at the 32nd Street overpass, right near the McDonald's over there, Pinnacle Center. Not to say that we have something on the ground, but I think something may be in the process of developing right here. And so if you're in Jenison, right along the freeway especially, you should be in your tornado shelter right now. And this is going to be continuing to essentially march up I-196, crossing over into Kent County soon, and all indications are we may be getting a new warning soon. We're waiting on that officially. So I think we have to keep a very close eye on this. We do have a cam in Jenison at Jenison High School, but it's just about to pass overhead, this leading edge. Again, we're just trying to use all of our resources here. Keep an eye on things, because in these situations, stuff develops very, very quickly. And
sounds like, oh, here's the tornado warning.
For Kent County?
Yep.
Yep. Oh, it sounds a lot nicer than our old tornado warning. Oh, there we go. All right, so this has been issued for, what part of Kent County we got here? This is probably going to be for Southern Kent County, in effect until 9:45. This does include the city of Grand Rapids. Moving east at about 50 miles per hour. So if you live in Kent County, especially the southern half, so this is mainly Northview and south, you need to take cover as this line rolls towards you. We haven't had a ton of confirmed damage yet. However, this line has a lot of intense winds just above the surface. We also were hearing from the Ottawa County Emergency Manager showing a huge lowering of the cloud base as this rolled on shore just near the Holland area. And that's the same part of the storm that's now tracking directly towards Granville, Grand Rapids, maybe clipping the Walker area just to the south. Kentwood, Caledonia, Lowell, and again, rolling towards Northview. This likely will continue to roll towards the east side of Kent County as well, but we're going to start concentrating on the west side of Kent County as this line continues its track through Ottawa.
the rest of Ottawa, and then into Kent. So right now we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Barrie, Allegan, Van Buren, Muskegon, and Kent County. But this portion of the line that we've been tracking for a while now is the one that is the most concerning, and at any point in time could produce a tornado. There's the Jenison camera right now. Still decent visibility there. Not seeing a ton of wind. Also, thank you so much to our viewers who are safely able to give us some of these storm reports. It's been incredibly helpful. We do have some power lines down and trees down in the Zeeland area. That report just coming in. Not seeing a ton of outages yet, but we're truly just waiting to see if this will mix down to the ground. Wind bursts right now over 196, rolling towards the Granville area. Storm motion likely slowing down by just a touch. It's now tracking closer to about 50 miles per hour instead of 55. So we're going to take a moment to just zoom in on Hudsonville, Grandville, where the fastest wind could be located right now. 22nd Avenue, 52nd Avenue, Angling Road, 144th, Kennewa Avenue Southwest. And this is rolling towards Chicago Drive Southwest, right in the Jenison area. Jenison, just hearing from you and seeing that video now, the fast wind hasn't really made it quite to city center yet. So it's still back here towards Port Sheldon Street, lifting towards Bauer Road. And we could, at any point in time, wherever you see like a little bit of a notch, see a spin-up tornado. So that's why we're taking this so seriously. We don't have confirmation of a tornado on the ground. We actually don't even have a ton of damage reports that have come in yet, but all the factors are aligned that this could spin down quite quickly. It has upper level support, it has surface support, surface spin, and we have a lot of humidity, which means the cloud deck is really low to the ground. So the storm doesn't necessarily have to try as hard to mix something down. So I have my radar on fastest scan. This should give us minute by minute updates. And this is going to be moving right towards downtown Jenison, also on the north side of Jenison towards Burton Street Southwest, following Chicago Drive, Wyoming. Let's do a track for you. Right around 9:18 or so. Standale, right now it doesn't look. Oh, that's a new update. That's a new scan. 9:16 for Standale. Gosh, and we're still just getting that notch right about here. It's still broad. It's not tight. Usually we have to see it tighten up in order to get an actual tornado that touches down. But the first step is to get this broad rotation. So right about here is definitely concerning. And then here where we see a bit of a wind burst, also a point of damage that is possible. This is, again, Kennewa Avenue Southwest. It's rolling right towards 52nd Street. If you live in 52nd Street, 64th, Ivan Rest Avenue, Wilson Avenue, go ahead and take cover. Stay away from windows. Again, this looks like such broad rotation to me, Blake, that the notch is there, but it's still just very wide. So it is a big question as to whether this is going to be able to tighten up as it lifts directly towards Wyoming and maybe even East Grand Rapids, or at least south of East Grand Rapids in the next 20 minutes or so. East Grand Rapids right around 9:22, so it's even less time. We're talking 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's just we keep watching the structure of this storm, as you mentioned, and this storm, the northern flank especially, has definitely lost some of its presentation on radar anyway. And if we look at the last, let's call it 45 minutes here, you can see how the northern edge is definitely starting to weaken. That makes sense. We have more atmospheric instability to the south, so the damaging wind threat may start to focus down toward Kalamazoo. But again, as you mentioned, of course, we have that area of rotation that has been occurring really since it passed just past Zeeland, just hasn't been able to do anything yet. So we're seeing, again, the wind come in on this direction. This is south side of Granville. Meanwhile, we have winds flowing in this direction. So there is some sort of rotation there. Whether it's broad enough, or strong enough to actually put down something, we don't have any evidence of that occurring yet. Again, not to say that it couldn't happen. That's, of course, why that tornado warning is in effect. Our rotation tracker is still showing that area that is, let's see, just south of Rivertown Parkway, as you mentioned, just past Kennewa. But all indications are, as of now, that we don't have anything on the ground. Again, doesn't mean something couldn't change quickly. We've seen it in the past where as soon as these storms get closer to 131, they start to develop. But encouraged by what I'm seeing, not only because of that, but because overall the wind threat, the threat for destructive wind seems to be lessening slightly. We're now seeing winds more on the order of 50 to 60 miles per hour. When this thing came on shore, radar was suggesting winds of 80 to 90. So that is encouraging news, again, as this moves into a very, very populated area, the heart of downtown Grand Rapids. I'm going to put the warnings back up here. If you are in Blendon Township, if you're in Borculo, if you are in, let's see, on the west side of Allendale, the leading edge of this has passed you. You are in the clear. This tornado warning remains in effect for eastern Ottawa, far eastern Ottawa now, and then into Kent County. But we're getting close, I'd say about less than 10 minutes probably from giving Ottawa County the all clear, as the worst of that weather will have moved through by then. And again, any threat is almost certainly going to be within the leading edge in terms of straight line winds or tornado potential. Still there, Ellen, still there. Here's the latest update. You see strong winds being sampled right around 60 miles per hour, and that is right along Rivertown Parkway. So the Rivertown Mall is right here. So right in the vicinity of the mall, just north of there, traveling down 44th Street, soon to be hitting US 131 here within the next few minutes. And again, that wind signature is still there, but it's still trying to rotate. Just don't see anything that tells me that we have a tornado in progress at this moment, which is good news.
Yes, we do have a few power outages that are kind of lining up in a line, and they're not big, 50 to 200 users at most for each, but it looks like they've formed in the Ottawa County area just on kind of the northeast side of Zealand, just on kind of the south side of Borculo, and then stretching up into South Blendon Township. So this is a little bit of a tell for us that at least some wind has made it to the ground. We have heard just a couple of reports of downed trees and power lines, not nearly as many as we even heard last night with that widespread line on such an unstable day. So I truly think that pretty soon here, we'll start to see a few more of those power outages pop up maybe north of Hudsonville on 36th Avenue. If we just follow the line, this likely is going to be headed towards the north side of Jenison, potentially Wallenwood Springs Golf Club, more likely to have an outage than others. Wilson Avenue Southwest and Butterworth Street, kind of the Johnson Park area. You may also see an outage just based on how the outages are popping up, maybe to the north of you, closer to Fillmore Street. So again, just another tool that we're watching to try to see if this is making its way to the grounds. Looks like, and excuse me, Blake, as I was looking at that, I didn't quite hear if you mentioned this, but it does look like a good portion of Allegan County and Ottawa County have been trimmed back, and Muskegon County has been removed for the severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah.
So just a quick reset as to what we've got going on here. We have Muskegon County, a lot of rain, some flashes of lightning, probably not even a lot of wind. You're in the clear. We do have Kent County, which could see winds at any point in the line, but we're especially concerned with this piece that's lifting out of Ottawa County that was tornado warned and truly at any point in time could produce a tornado. Actually, Blake, it's headed right for the airport. The airport has already been hit like 3 times. Yeah,
they've had winds at or above 75 miles per hour 3 times in the last, what is it, 15 months?
So that's interesting, but hopefully it stays elevated and we don't see this touchdown. And then this really gnarly line that's pushing through Allegan County is tracking towards Berry County. And also all day today, we've had more instability right about here that's built in. So it definitely means that Kalamazoo County could see a severe thunderstorm warning at any point in time. Hastings, you do want to brace for some wind threat or, again, the possibility of a brief spin-up tornado. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far in that we're not seeing those tight couplets. We're just seeing a lot of broad rotation. Usually before you see a tornado, you see a lot of broad rotation within the storm, and then the tornado is relatively small. It's like a tighter rotation. So I don't want you guys to think that this is the all clear by any means, because truly at any point in time, like right here, you could start to see a pixel to pixel tighten up. So this looks pretty weak here, but it is the type of thing that I'm looking for more, where you have that pixel to pixel tight rotation. So I'm just going to sample that with my wind tool really quickly. For reference, this is Byron Center Avenue. just south of Chicago Drive, just on the east side of Grandville. Very minimal winds with that rotation, like 13 miles per hour. So that's a good sign. And truly, if I sample a bit more of this, 45, 44, that's not overly concerning. But it really is just the fact that you could see a spin up at any point in time. So again, just bottom line, I like what I'm seeing right now. We're not seeing a ton of damage reports, but we do have enough going on just aloft that it's better safe than sorry. Because when it comes to tornadoes, it can happen fast. Go ahead.
Just a few notes, Ellen. We do have a few damage reports coming in. Allegan County Emergency Management, Sara Clark, says they're starting to see some tree and wire down reports near and south of Allegan. So on the southern flank of this line, which we mentioned a few minutes ago, looks like it's getting a bit more organized as it's diving into an area of better atmospheric instability. We also have a report, looks like came in from Zeeland area, just west of Zeeland, of trees and power lines down. We don't have any specific info on that other than that it was just north and west of Zeeland. So a few reports of the storm still capable of downing some trees, some power lines, something we've gone through a few times already this year. Not seeing much here. And in fact, if you're in Ottawa County, pretty much in the clear. The leading edge of this line is almost past you. The exception is just moving through Marne right now. So the tornado warning remains in effect, but if you're in Allendale, if you're in Hudsonville, Jenison, Zeeland, main tornado threat has moved east of you and is now focused in Kent County, although as Ellen has been mentioning, that threat isn't quite as high as it was. So the thing that's interesting about this line, though, is that it is still jagged. And by that, I mean we still have all these little notches in here. It keeps dipping and in and out, in and out. And given the parameters we have in place, as Ellen mentioned, even though things may look tame from a rotation perspective, things can change very quickly in a setup like this. So this is why we have to keep a very close eye on this. And that's almost certainly why the tornado warning remains in effect for Kent County, even if the threat doesn't appear to be imminent at this moment.
Thank you, Blake. And I do want to point out this one cell that we've been watching that you mentioned earlier went through Merrillville, Indiana, just south of Gary. We still have confirmed tornadoes on the ground with that line, but we also have a tornado warned cell in the Michigan City, Indiana area, and this is tracking east at about 35 miles per hour or so. So do note that that does include Niles at about 10:07, Edwardsburg at about 10:17 tonight. So there's no guarantee that this will continue to be tornado warned or produce a tornado. But if you live closer to the Indiana state line, you need to pay attention to this portion of the line. And again, maybe start navigating to your safe place. A safe place, of course, is one that's in a sturdy building, one that's at the lowest level and away from windows. I'm also going to turn this back on to our normal reflectivity mode. Kalamazoo, seeing some heavy rain on the north side, nothing in the Portage area yet. Right now, if I put this in motion for the last 15 minutes or so, you can see that everything is lifting up just to the northeast a bit, but current trends kind of take this south of even the Portage area. We'll continue to keep our eye on some of these communities that have already experienced a lot over the last couple of years and try to give you some extra information with this portion of the line now that it's moving into Michigan. Notice Berrien County not included in anything yet, so that is a good sign. And half of Van Buren County has been trimmed back just for this Boeing segment. So just something worth noting, no confirmation of a tornado there as it lifts north of South Bend, but just something that I wanted to mention.
Ellen, just a few quick housekeeping notes. Looks like we may have a wind signature picking up just a bit here in the south side of Kentwood, right as it gets ready to move on the south side of the airport. So this vicinity right in here, which would be Kalamazoo and M6. Yes, Kalamazoo and M6, and that winds there are being sampled right around 60 miles per hour. So we may start to see some power outage reports come in there if that is making it to the ground. The airport's right here, the radar's right here, scanning very close. I mean, we're talking just a few miles away. So there's almost certainly going to be some strong winds making it to the ground there. One other thing I want to note is that we have a few power outages starting to show up in Allegan County, Wayland area. And that tells me that it lines up with, this line looks pretty solid. on radar. Just the presentation of it looks pretty intense, and so that gives some ground truth that we probably have some damage ongoing across Allegan County, and that is just crossing US 131 right now. Only tornado warning that's in effect is for central Kent County, but damaging winds are possible, if not likely, along majority of this line, but especially right now in Allegan. A last housekeeping note, tornado warning has been canceled for Ottawa County. The storm has moved out of Ottawa County, so the sirens should be shutting off if they haven't already. So those are just a few notes that I have at this moment. And just keeping an eye on, again, outages. Nothing extreme yet. But again, a few are popping up just on the west side of Wayland. And the tricky part is now that this line is basically crossing the axis of the radar, it's pretty hard to tell exactly how hard those winds are gusting until it gets a little farther away from the radar. But no doubt that we have strong to damaging winds ongoing across much of Allegan County would be my guess. And if we look at rotation tracker, we have one area here. It looks like just on the east side of Wayland we're watching, but as of now, again, I don't see anything that tells me that we have something imminent. In fact, do we have the airport camera? Can we take that in boxes at least? Yep, no problem. Thank you, Kyle. Because this line is pretty much hitting the airport, or about to any second now. And we should be able to get a good view of this storm as it officially hits the Gerald R. Ford International Airport, which a lot of storms have been targeting that general area. Cascade, Cutlerville. Thank you, Sarah. Kalamazoo County now also has a severe thunderstorm warning, northern half, till 10:30. Thank you. There's a view of the airport. I have a feeling we're going to start to see the wind really pick up here, so if you can leave it up for a minute or two, that'd be great. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect for northern Kalamazoo County until 10:30. This is along and north of Portage, and that is for this line that is dropping south. You're looking at right now, though, the Gerald R. Ford International Airport, and that's the airport here, which is a circle where the radar is, and the leading edge is pretty much there, and we have some strong wind that should be moving in there really any moment now. It's actually impressively calm, but I don't think that'll be the case for long. Ellen, anything?
Yeah, just really grateful. I've been reading viewer reports via email, and I have to apologize. Earlier I said email woodtv.com/report it. We want you to head to that website, and then it sends it to us as an email, so I apologize for that. But as Blake has been mentioning, it really is one of these watch and waiting games, especially in the Kentwood area off to the south. Here's the website to head to. Very, very helpful for us. Not only does it send it to us, it sends it to the newsroom, and then they can help to put it on air for us. But real time, it's been giving us a little bit of a feel for what this storm has been doing. Looks like quite a bit of lightning there. Not seeing the trees move too terribly yet at the airport. Winds could gust as high as 70 miles per hour. I would guess that most of the gusts today have been closer to about 30 to 40, but still, as this rolls in, it's exhibiting some of these temporary wind bursts, and it's also exhibiting some of those little notches within the line. So the two spots that we're watching most closely is southern Kent County and then into the Wayland area. I would not be surprised if Dorr saw a wind burst. This is going to be tracking towards Ionia. Something else that I just wanted to mention, we do have a tornado warning for a portion of Berrien County, very southwestern portion of the state. So this is lifting towards New Buffalo, potentially Bridgman, so we're going to watch that closely as well. No confirmed tornado there, but the signature does look like it could possibly produce a tornado at any time, just like this one coming in now. So if you guys see anything on the airport cam and it looks robust, pop it back up. But it really is tracking right over the airport as we speak. And then as it starts moving away from the airport towards Forest Hills and Lowell, these greens are going to turn red. It doesn't mean anything about the intensity. What it means is that it's now moving away from the radar. So we'll likely see just after it passes the airport with the confirmed gusts is there. Wow, that was a good lightning bolt. Power outages definitely possible from lightning bolts as well today, but we're not seeing a ton of lightning, truly. I don't know if we have the lightning counter up or if we can grab that, but
it's not overly high.
It does look like we have a decent amount of lightning now moving towards kind of the Holland area again.
Yeah, maybe some, there could be some residual cloud to ground lightning potentially. It's probably what's happening on the back end.
Yeah.
So we got, before we get to track, I just want to point out one quick thing, and that is just south of the airport in Caledonia. Weather Service brought up a good point of all these little cell mergers where these small cells are being ingested by the line that can sometimes spin up something quickly. And so here's just one area I'm watching right near Caledonia, and it's being picked up by our rotation tracker too. And that is right on the west side of Caledonia. It's going to be Patterson and 92nd, moving pretty much through the center of Caledonia. Again, not, looks like we may have a new tornado warning on the way, according to Bruce.
Yep.
National Weather Service. Thank you. New tornado warning has just been issued for probably that area. Yeah, that area we were just tracking. North of Caledonia, yep. Okay, there it is. That is in effect until 10:15. This is for southeastern Kent, southwestern Ionia, and northern Berry County.
45 east.
Moving east at 45 miles per hour. Yep, I'll draw a track. So we're just going to track this whole leading edge because the whole thing is capable of producing possible spin-up tornadoes. So this is going to be near Middleville here within the next 3 minutes or so. Leading edge, that is Hastings just after 9:45, Lake Odessa right around 9:55, Sunfield just after 10, and if it keeps going, Portland by just after 10:11, but of course it's still about 40 minutes away, and they're outside of the tornado warning. But I want to zoom back in because that is the area that I was just talking about that ended up prompting that, and I think we may have something developing right there just off the latest radar signature where, yeah, look at this inflow right here. Flowing right into this part of the storm. If we have a tornado, it's probably going to be right there, and that is Cherry Valley Avenue. That's M37, just on the northeast side of Caledonia. We're going to wait for our wind signature to see if it can pick up on it here. Definitely something there. I'm going to turn off the warnings for a second. Definitely being indicated by a rotation tracker that there may well be something in progress there, and there's another area just south of Middleville that may be developing as well. But as to me right now, that Caledonia part looks like the strongest.
100%. The Middleville one definitely, or south of Middleville, I should say, is still quite broad. But by comparison, that surge that's rolling over, let's see, Alaska Avenue Southeast, 92nd Street, get into your safe spot now. And 92nd Street, you are included in this. This is just, again, near the Caledonia area, 92nd towards Whitneyville, Alden Nash Avenue, all areas that need to get into their safe zone as this rolls just overhead. In addition to this, we do have a tornado warning expanded again to the east in the very southwestern portion of Michigan. Kalamazoo County right now, in terms of winds velocity, you are under the severe thunderstorm warning. Not seeing anything significant in terms of winds aloft yet. And that's what we're hearing from a lot of our viewers, that the wind is coming in. It's actually surging a little bit more behind the line. Something that we might need to actually watch for, potentially some wake low winds rolling on shore, again, picking back up some intensity. So just a really strange setup today. We knew that it would be one that we'd have to watch pretty carefully for a lot of different threats. But again, the Caledonia area especially, seeing some rotation there, strong enough for the National Weather Service to issue a tornado warning. Lifting near the Caledonia area, tracking, I believe Sarah said 45 miles per hour to the northeast. So this is going to be headed eventually, let's see if I can change the tracker tool here. Near to I-96, close to about 9:43 or so. This also is going to be lifting north of Lake Odessa, close to about 9:54. Not seeing anything on debris yet, which is a very good sign. But again, that notch that we're seeing is usually a good indication that the wind is flowing backwards and in. So something that we want to pay attention to quite closely.
Yeah, just waiting for our next radar scan here, which should be coming in momentarily. Ingredients definitely there. I think this is probably the strongest signature rotation-wise that we've seen since the line hit the immediate lakeshore. And again, we have two separate tornado warnings. So there's one that remains in effect for central Kent County if you're in Granville, If you're in Wyoming, Kentwood, downtown Grand Rapids, up toward Walker, you're in the clear. Up Northview now, you can see the tornado warning was just trimmed back. So it still remains in effect for Forest Hills, Ada, Cascade, Lowell. But for the most part, I think the tornado threat is probably just south of there. Hearing from meteorologist Matt Kirkwood, wind estimate sub 50 miles per hour up in the F's Corner area, which is great news, of course. So I think right now our focus is on this tornado warning, to be honest with you, with this circulation near the Whitneyville or just south of Whitneyville, and another one just to the east of Middleville.
Look at this one near Hastings that actually the one you were just mentioning. I'm so sorry, Blake.
No.
But it does look like the couplet is tightening just a touch.
I agree.
So north M37, so M37, we've got Highway 179, Heath Road, West State Road. This is headed just north of the Hastings area.
Hang on one second, Kyle. Thank you. Sounds like we may have down power line starting a fire of some sort in Zeeland. I think the rotation picked up on Caledonia.
Okay.
We have a new scan that has our strongest rotation signature yet. That is just east of Whitneyville and 92nd. I think we may well have a tornado developing or in progress right there. Yeah. It'll take a minute to show up if it is on the ground, but the wind has picked up drastically in just the last scan. And that may, yeah, that might be a tornado debris signature right here. Yep. Yeah, I think so. I think we got a tornado on the ground, 92nd and Whitneyville right there.
This is headed towards Alden Nash Avenue. Please get in your safe spot now. This is headed towards Moores Lake Avenue, 100th Street Southeast. Potential tornado touchdown just near 100th.
They agree, likely TDS.
Whitneyville. So we have basically a confirmed tornado on the ground headed just over Vincent Avenue Southeast and 92nd Street. This is tracking roughly at 45 miles per hour. Just as a reminder, we're talking about an area that is east of Caledonia. This is going to impact communities on Wingear Avenue. Apologies if I said that incorrectly. Keem Road, 76th Street. If I'm listing where you live, you need to take cover now. And know that this is moving quite quickly at about 45 miles per hour or so. So not a time to get nervous or panic, but definitely a time to get to the lowest level of your house. Look at just updated.
Still present.
Still present. The debris ball potentially looking like it's holding together. Sometimes if it expands, it means that it's likely weakening, but this is still holding together, tracking just subtly to the northeast. Right over Alden Nash Avenue, momentarily Keem Road. Right over Bell Road momentarily, Todd Road. We're talking Nash Highway. So I know it looks pretty messy here, but this is what we're tracking right here.
Whoa, big wind increase in the latest scan. 80 plus miles per hour. And that is essentially just on the northeast side of Freeport, just south of Alto.
Confirmed tornado.
Yeah, is it confirmed? Or at least radar confirmed?
Yeah, radar.
Yep, that's why it just turned purple. Sometimes we get asked, what do the purple tornado warnings mean? That means that it is confirmed. And if we don't have a tornado, we have destructive winds likely ongoing here. And this is the far, far southeastern corner of Kent County. So if you are, again, as Ellen mentioned, Alden Nash, if you are in the far southwest corner of Ionia County, the Freeport area, Clarksville, you need to be heading to your tornado shelter because there is, at the very least, a very strong wind signature that keeps popping up here. And I'm not even sure this is doing it justice. In fact, if we were to take a sample, 80 plus miles per hour right now. And our rotation tracker is suggesting that in this bullseye right here, we have likely strong rotation, possible tornado, radar confirmed tornado on the ground right now. In one other area, I just want to point out, I know this has suddenly gotten busy as it always seems to, area just west of Hastings right here. We'll have to keep an eye on this area. If you're in Hastings, you should be in your tornado shelter as this will be approaching you really any moment now. On the north side, we have no signs that that is on the ground, but at the very least, again, a very strong wind signature, again, on the south side of Alto. Moving, going to be a close call with Freeport. As it moves into Ionia County, we'll be talking about 92nd. And this essentially traveling right along 92nd. 92nd and Bell, eventually over toward Nash Highway.
Yeah, Freeport, as you mentioned, close call. I would still stay in your safe zone, even though this could potentially track just to the north of you. And then Lake Odessa, absolutely get into your safe place as well. So lowest level, away from windows, likely rolling over Stall Road, Keem Road, Bell Road momentarily. Just putting a track on this here. Should be headed towards some of these locations in about 5 minutes or so. So apologies, let me try to move the map just a bit more. Tricky to get close enough for ground level sometimes, but also still let you guys see what's happening here. So Bell Road 945, that's around Bell and Stall Road. Likely still seeing a tornado at least touching down or the potential to touch down. Looking at the debris signature, still present. In terms of shear, still seeing strong rotation at that same point. So anytime we see everything aligning together, it just gives us further confidence that a tornado is on the ground. Looks like we just got our latest scan here. Still a little bit of a notch right about here.
Yeah, at the very least, an area of enhanced wind.
Yeah.
What's that, Sarah?
I don't think there's, I'm not sure there's debris.
Yeah, I think the debris just left. I think you're right. Because I do think that the jump was a little too, yeah, it's outpacing the reflectivity, so I don't think it's valid anymore.
Still getting radar estimated wind speeds of 70 to 80 miles per hour, and that is, again, heading right on the north side of Freeport. Again, Clarksville, Lake Odessa, radar, again, still estimating anywhere from 65 to 80 miles per hour. Right, essentially, if you are in Ionia County south of I-96, that's where the strongest wind is headed here, right in this vicinity. Possible tornado, but at the very least, damaging winds almost certainly ongoing here. And again, this is very close to the radar, so the fact that we're seeing this wind signature suggests that wind is either very close to or at the ground level and producing damage. But the good news is that we're not seeing that debris signature, tornadic debris signature, showing up anymore.
Trying to check here to see if we have any new outages that have popped up. And we do. We do have a new one that's 200 to 1,000 customers, and it hasn't been assigned, so that's how we know. Anyway, this is Bone Center and then Thompson Road. It's headed towards Campbell Corners, Clarksville, likely lifting up towards Grand River Avenue. And as Blake mentioned, even if there is not a tornado on the ground anymore, we're still seeing winds that are just as strong as a weak tornado. So whether the wind is flat or whether it's swirling, it's still strong enough to knock down trees. Typically, you need winds stronger than 60 miles per hour in order to do damage. And in this instance, this is well strong enough to knock down even healthy trees. So I would not be surprised if we started to see the outages climb. Continuing down this line into just north of Hastings, where we've also continued to see notches. The wind threat is blustery, not severe yet. Remember, for this portion of Hastings, we're looking mainly on the north side just to see if there's some rotation. And this entire line is moving at about 45 miles per hour or so, tracking towards Lake Odessa. Lake Odessa, I would say on the north side of the city, especially susceptible to some damaging winds, and that would likely be closer to about 950 or so. And we're still seeing several notches along the line. I think that just goes to show us how quickly something can go from being just a broad rotation to potentially rotation in a tornado on the ground. Latest scans still getting some wind speeds that are close to about 65 to 68 miles per hour. This is once again Bell Road, Campbell Corners, Blippi Road. This is headed towards Lake Odessa. So Lake Odessa, I would highly recommend getting into a safe part of your home. Midway Road, that looks like the location where we're seeing the fastest winds, still coming in at about 76 miles per hour or so. And this is going to be tracking towards Clarksville. If you live in Clarksville, you need to take cover. This is, again, a portion of the storm where we've had confirmed rotation, potentially a confirmed tornado, and it's headed right towards the Clarksville area. Brooks Road, Goodmoot Road, Tasker Road, take cover now. Very likely we could see some damaging winds gusts or a brief spin-up tornado where you live.
Just kind of a brief overview here. Sirens probably still sounding in at least parts of Kent County, but the main tornadic threat has essentially exited Kent County now. So you see the leading edge of this line is just east of Lowell. And still leading edge moving. The severe thunderstorm warning has been trimmed back for Kent County. So essentially the tornado threat has all but ended for Kent County. This has now moved into Ionia County, and I think there may be a bit of a growing potential for a brief spin-up tornado in Berry County as well. So just trying to all clear people as this moves through. Allegan County still seeing very heavy rain, lightning, probably some gusty winds, but hopefully before long the worst of it will be out of Allegan County as well. But again, the fact that this line looks the way it does, I'm going to turn off the warnings for a second. Just look at the shape of this. You have a curve right here where we're tracking what was likely a tornado, and then it bows out. We have another notch here just over Hastings, another notch down here not far from just south of Orangeville, over probably toward the Delton area. So this line being jagged means that there are circulations that are trying to develop within this line. Just hasn't had a whole lot of success up to this point, with the exception of what was likely a tornado touchdown in far southeastern Kent County. So just a little bit about what's going on right now. We look at our rotation tracker. It essentially has this whole line rotating, so we kind of have to pick and choose. If we were to look at Hastings area, you can see what looks like a bit of a notch here. If we look at our rotation tracker, looks like it's moved just past, and still something there, but nothing that tells me that we have something on the ground. And of course, if we look at our debris tracker, don't see much there either. I know it looks scary, but when it's on the leading edge, sometimes that can be things like birds and leaves that are being kind of carried along the leading edge. So
looks like our outages in that area continue to climb. So we've added about 5,500 consumers without power roughly in that area. So I just wanted to add that, Blake. He's been mentioning again that at times we're watching for rotation, at times we're watching for straight line winds, and it does look like we have seen damage in that area. So this is largely moving out of the Kent County area, moving into Ionia County. Kent County likely being cleared here shortly. Occasionally it does look like this couplet is trying to reignite itself. That can happen from time to time where it re-spins. If so, it'd be Darby Road, Elm Road, Peddler Lake, Ralph Road, Bliss Road, Tasker Road. This is headed towards you. Goodmount Road. And again, headed on the north side of Lake Odessa. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something take shape again right about there. Shear rate coming in strong in that location. And then again, Sarah's been helping us too to monitor debris signature. Not seeing debris in that location quite yet, which is a very good sign. In addition to that, it does look like some viewers are reporting that the wind is picking up quite a bit behind this line. We've already seen something this year called a wake low, where behind the main line, all of a sudden the wind surges again to 55, maybe even close to 60 miles per hour. If you live along the lakeshore, or if you live on the west side of 131, please let us know what you're experiencing. If the wind went from almost nothing to something pretty substantial currently, that is very helpful information for us. So it sounds like
new severe thunderstorm warning for Calhoun.
Ionia is reporting rotation in Lake Odessa. Fire has reported it potentially. So we'll continue to monitor some reports of rotation. We always like to verify those. Sometimes things are moving quite a bit. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is a tornado, but it is kind of another marker for us to pay attention to. But I think if we expand the view, we still have that little notch that's now tracked on the east side of Hastings. Excuse me. But it's much more broad. So Hastings, you may be in the clear at this point in time, even though the tornado warning is still technically valid for you. This rotation, or this portion of the line, is now rolling towards Martin, and then eventually this is going to continue to track towards Portland and Ionia County. Right now it looks like most of the rotation is staying south of I-96, and the wind speeds have really just been so interesting to watch. I mean, Blake, this latest sample is coming still at 75, 81 miles per hour.
Well, and it matches with the surging part of this line, too, that's kind of bulging out right over Lake Odessa. So the fact that we've been seeing power outages starting to show up, radar's telling us pretty close to the radar that winds could be upwards of 80 miles per hour. And again, we likely saw a quick spin-up tornado in Kent County that tells us that there's still a strong signature here for damage potential of at least a straight line winds. And again, as Ellen mentioned, it's right in this area right here. So Lake Odessa, this is going to be pretty much at your doorstep. You're probably already getting the gusty winds, but the strongest winds are right in this vicinity, right in here. That will keep tracking on the north side of Lake Odessa, right along Clarksville Road.
Is that in Holland?
Bipley Road area, Clark Road, and then that will keep going next. I mean, mainly rural part of Ionia County, but of course, a lot of farmers and folks out that way. Kent County's been dropped from the tornado warning officially. That's good news. So we should see that disappear here soon. So we have the tornado warning that remains in effect. It looks like it's been trimmed from Middleville as well. Hastings right on the edge, but as Ellen mentioned, the leading edge is past them. So this is now focused on Ionia County, far southwestern Ionia County, and then far northeastern Berry County. Wouldn't be surprised if they extend the tornado warning in some capacity just because of the history of the storm, but that's where we likely have the most damaging winds ongoing at this time.
Looks like we have some viewer video from the Zeeland area of a downed power line, potentially even starting a fire. So I don't know if we can take to that here. Yikes, yeah. Downed power lines, again, falling trees, very dangerous. Highly advised that if you're heading out, seeing damage, you call 911. Make sure to play it safe rather than sorry. Don't get too close. And please do not take shelter ever in a vehicle during a severe thunderstorm warning or during a tornado warning. It is just simply not a safe place to be. It's actually better for you to exit your vehicle in a tornado warning and head into a ditch rather than stay in the vehicle, believe it or not.
This is at West, say that one more time, Kyle. West Garfield Avenue and North Jefferson Street, again in Zeeland. I have a feeling we're going to start getting some more dispatch calls, or our scanners are lighting up downstairs in the Ionia County area at this moment. And there's one other quick area of rotation I want to point out that we've been tracking east of Hastings, right on the edge of the tornado warning, where we can see what looks to me like just a little area of enhanced possible rotation right in here. And this is just north of Nashville, east of Hastings. Try and name a few streets for you, right near M66 and Bain Road. And this will be moving into Eden County here momentarily. Meanwhile, we have a surge of damaging winds that are almost certainly doing damage. We're seeing power outages, in fact, quite a few power outages popping up in the Clarksville, Lowell, Saranac areas. And that suggests that, of course, this line is doing damage. And even now, winds are still estimated to be potentially in excess of 80 miles per hour now moving through Lake Odessa. So this line has continued to hold its strength now as it will move into eastern Ionia County and western Eden County. And I wouldn't be surprised again if they extend. Right now there's a severe thunderstorm warning. Wouldn't be too surprised if they extend the tornado warning. They have not done that yet.
Just to do a little reset as well, still monitoring a few storms that are coming in off of Lake Michigan that are quite healthy. So Blake just took some time to focus on this. This is still our primary concern. So we'll be watching that very closely. Just getting some viewer reports anywhere from Holland to Grand Rapids that occasionally the wind really has been picking up to 50 and then dropping back down again. So just know that it is possible if you're headed outside or you're thinking you're necessarily in the all clear. Might still have a couple of branches that come down. And then you'll notice that we have a lot of activity, ton of lightning over Lake Michigan with a tornado warning here in the Berrien County area. This is going to continue to track towards Cass and St. Joseph, but we also have this line that's just developed out ahead of it, and it's lifting towards Kalamazoo County. That line lifting towards Portage, Kalamazoo County has some lightning, some thunder, some heavy rain, but right now I'm not seeing any rotation and I'm not really seeing anything too intense in terms of winds. So in general, even though the radar is filling in some of these counties that haven't been impacted yet, just know that it's kind of rolling in now. I do think that we very well could see a tornado continue here through St. Joseph and Cass County, closer to about 11 p.m., maybe even midnight if it can hold together. hopefully it falls apart. So in general, it does look like the lakeshore, Grand Haven north into Muskegon, Newaygo, Mount Calm looking pretty good. But Ionia County, especially that one spot that Blake was just kind of covering in detail near Lake Odessa, could fill in with power outages. If you're able to and you live in this area, even if you don't have a picture, if you could just help us out. And can we show that, please? Okay. Look at this. Can we actually take this full screen, please?
This was in Kentwood?
Okay. Tricky.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, reports of a funnel cloud. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't see it all the way down to the ground, and we didn't really see anything on radar, not to say it couldn't have, at least a funnel cloud.
Yeah.
Of some sort.
It's tricky too, because I wish we knew the timing of this as well to see if this was part of that gust front. Remember how gnarly the line was? 9 o'clock?
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Sailor. Very, very helpful. This is the type of stuff where if you are safe and you can snap pictures and send them to us, we're very grateful. What we're going to do is we're going to take this picture. We are going to rewind the radar here in the tracking center and see if it lines up with what we're seeing on radar and if that, in fact, is a confirmed tornado. Please send us your storm damage photos and videos. Head to woodtv.com/report it. It's very helpful. It sends us to our producers, our reporters, our desk, and then that way we can get the confirmation. We can make sure that it is legitimate, that it was taken by a human, and that we can trust it to show others here in West Michigan.
We've got a new tornado warning, Ellen. This is extending it downstream for parts of Ionia County. This now includes Portland, and then this is northern Eden County as well, which takes it just about to Lansing, in fact, the west side of Lansing. This runs in effect until 10:30, and this just essentially extends what we've been tracking for close to what feels like an hour now, probably a little less than that, half hour, with this part of the line in particular, where you keep seeing a few notches here. So the verbiage is radar indicated. So this is severe thunderstorms capable of producing both tornadoes and extensive straight line wind damage located along a line extending from near Lake Odessa to near Nashville, moving east at 55 miles per hour. So if we put a track on this moving at 55, leading edge of this line right here, again, understanding that we could have a quick tornado just about any moment along this line. It could develop quickly. This will be near Portland in about 5 minutes, right around 10 o'clock. Grand Ledge right around 10:08. Potterville right around 10:11. And then over toward Lansing right around 10:20, continuing to move east of there in the minutes following. So again, we're getting closer to the fringe of the viewing area, but we know we have folks in Portland who watch us. If we look at the area of rotation right here, this is the core of the strongest wind. Right here, just to the east of Lake Odessa, where radar is still suggesting winds upwards of 80 miles per hour, and that is tracking pretty much due east. So this will be on the south side of Portland. So if you live along the Grand River Musgrove Highway, Emory Road, Towner Road, Okemos Road, basically you should be in your tornado shelter if you're in Portland in general, but especially the south side of Portland down towards Sunfield and Mulliken. South side of I-96, that's where it looks like we have the greatest threat for both extensive straight line winds and a quick spin up tornado. We're also watching this area, which has a bit more of a pronounced radar presentation on the north side of Vermontville, and you see an area of enhanced rotation right there as well. So kind of this the same deal where we're tracking this line. It feels like it's close to producing additional spin-up tornadoes, but at the very least is producing likely extensive straight line wind damage as it keeps moving through. And the power outage map is lit up like a Christmas tree over parts of southern Ionia and northern Berry counties, which tells us there it is right there. You see that whole stripe. And that's usually delayed by a few minutes. So my guess is we'll keep seeing it fill in further east. It just confirms what we've been tracking.
Saranac, basically out of power. Blue Water Highway, Ionia State Recreation Area, all without power. This is going to likely continue, as Blake mentioned, just on the north side of Lake Odessa, and then continuing towards the Portland area. In fact, there's a new outage that just has to be, what, 2 miles to the east, excuse me, to the west of Portland. On I-96 there. So Portland would not be surprised if you lost power. Collins, Westphalia, this is also headed towards you. Noticing there's a little bit of rotation near the Battle Creek, Springfield area. Not much yet. Certainly not as strong as what we've been tracking further to the north. But something that we're watching, looks like it's north of the airport, north of Battle Creek. It'd likely be here where it's a little less populated, close to that county line. Crandall Road, Halbert Road. We've seen things pop up quickly, so if you live close by North Avenue, Mary's Lake Road, I would definitely treat this as not just a severe thunderstorm warning, but something that could potentially produce a tornado. Bellevue Road, latest scan just weakened a touch there, so that's a good sign. But this is located along that same line that we've been watching. So I'm just going to reset here so that you can see it in full. Pushing through Ionia, fastest winds here, almost a bookend vortice truly. And then this is kicking out towards northern Calhoun County, just kind of missing Kalamazoo County. Kalamazoo, this is your next wave. It's rolling through Van Buren County, not severe warned at this point in time. Doesn't look like it's going to be severe warned. So half of Kalamazoo County is still in a lingering severe thunderstorm warning. Wouldn't be surprised if that cancels here shortly. In fact, this one for Kalamazoo County goes until 10:30. So yes, I wouldn't be surprised if Kalamazoo's is expired early. But right on that northern portion of Calhoun, something that still needs to be watched, as well as that tornado warning that's exiting Ionia County and tracking further to the east. A lot of lightning with this cluster here. No indication that it might be severe, but typically we look for lightning as one of those kind of key signs, especially once it's over Lake Michigan. You don't have a lot of extra data, but lightning data can really show you the health of a storm. So we still have more action that's coming in here. Nothing severe at this juncture, but something that we will continue to watch carefully as we continue through the overnight. This is composite radar, so it's showing the radar from Chicago, Milwaukee. It's not just Grand Rapids radar. This is the back edge here. So it looks like all the warnings are on the leading edge, and that's typically how these systems work. So once we see this track through and then this portion of the line close to I-90, hugging the Indiana state line, continue to track through, I truly think that we'll be in the clear. We'll watch this one just in case, Blake and Sarah, but I don't know, I'm not seeing anything quite yet with that. It's mostly just this portion that's produced some confirmed outages.
Yeah, just tracking the leading edge of this wind, which is just about to impact Portland, south side of Portland right now. And we still have that little notch that's being presented on radar, but it's been showing that for a little while and just hasn't come to fruition. I think by far the greatest threat here is damaging wind. In fact, if we look at our wind tracker, still suggesting a few areas where we have winds likely in excess of potentially 70 to 80 miles per hour from Vermontville up through Sunfield, Mulliken, and again, the south side of Portland mainly. If you're on the north side, it's still going to get breezy, but the main part of this really strong wind in the far southeastern corner of Ionia County is going to be right along the Grand River here, Musgrove Highway, Charlotte Highway, right up through, going to likely be missing south of Grand River Avenue, and again, south of I-96, but it's going to be a close call for really strong winds. In fact, there's a new scan right there, and radar suggests winds could be in excess of 70 to 80 miles per hour. And over the last 5 minutes, or excuse me, over the last few minutes here, you can see this is tracking north. It's going to be a close call for Portland, crossing I-96, probably just on the east side of Portland as it officially moves into Clinton County. Thankfully, again, no major sign of tornadic activity. Feels like it's been close, but damaging winds, I think, continue to be the main threat here as this now moves to the fringe, not quite out of our viewing area yet, but the fringe of our viewing area.
Yeah, Portland's definitely not necessarily in the clear quite yet. As Blake mentioned, it's getting really close, so maybe just give it about 10 more minutes, especially if you're on the south side of Portland, Mulliken, Sunfield, towards the Grand Ledge area. Brace for that incoming wind burst. And then here, that same rotation that we've been watching for a bit in the Hastings area has now tracked quite quickly to the east, and that's rolling towards Potterville. So unfortunately, it looks like Lansing might have a bit of activity here. with the tornado warning extended. Looks like the National Weather Service absolutely agrees on that, as well as the new severe thunderstorm warnings off to the east. What I am liking and what's been very helpful from viewers is letting us know what they're experiencing across other portions of West Michigan. Right now it looks like still a decent amount of lightning just smattered within some of these cells that are still ongoing. So with that being said, you know, don't head out in a thunderstorm. Make sure you're paying attention to the lightning. We have had some outages and lightning strikes that have happened in past. So just know that there's still the potential for that threat. But for the most part, the damaging wind gusts just far outpacing the rest of this line, and we're just filling in with a ton of light to even heavy rain, with the last of it just now tracking on the east side of Milwaukee. Still a little concerned about this cluster, which is just ever so slightly climbing to the northeast. No tornado warning in the latest issuance, but you can see a new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. This is going to be on the south side of Van Buren County. So Van Buren County, Paw Paw, Matawan, not concerned about severe at this juncture. But Kalamazoo County will continue to watch these clusters as they move towards you. No rotation currently, no big bursts of winds yet that I'm spotting, but that could create a reissuance if it changes. So Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, I'm not ready to give you the all clear yet, but it's kind of looking like Muskegon, Newaygo, Kent, Ottawa is looking pretty good. Well, and we are going to have to watch this line. It almost looks like it's moving faster than the one ahead of it in the very southwestern portion of the state. Yeah. And Blake and Sarah, we've been watching this for several days. It looked like tornado parameter was going to be kind of highest here in terms of stronger tornadoes, and then just fast, quick tornadoes in the northern part of the line, and that's what we've seen take place today.
Yeah, it still is in effect there in the southwest corner of the state. You mentioned all those counties. All the counties you listed have been dropped from the tornado watch. That is Ottawa, Kent, Muskegon, Newaygo, Oceana counties, and I have a feeling they may hang on to it here, down here, just because even though that first line is passing through because of, as you just mentioned, what's crossing Lake Michigan. But as this line, the main line to the north keeps tracking east, we'll likely keep seeing counties dropped. Weather Service is always good at dropping those quickly. And again, you see it's becoming a bit messier. We may not be done with the rain here in Grand Rapids yet and the lightning, but the severe threat for Ottawa, Kent, Muskegon, Newaygo, Oceana counties has dropped. It is certainly lessening for Allegan, Berry counties. As you mentioned, I think along and south of 94 will be the focus here as we head through perhaps the next hour or two. Just want to make one quick note now that this wind is passing through Portland. South side, we still have radar estimated winds now that's getting farther away from the radar, upwards of 70 to 85 miles per hour. Whether that's making it to the ground, you become increasingly skeptical as it moves farther away. But it looks like the outages aren't quite as pronounced as it's gotten closer to Portland either, which means that we may be seeing the wind kind of start to get trapped a little farther up in the storm itself, but still capable of producing quick spin-up tornadoes. This is going to be close to Grand Ledge here soon. Again, moving on the south side of Portland, soon to be over toward the DeWitt area, where WLNS's coverage area picks it up. But again, this is our last remaining tornado warning as of this moment. But as we've watched through the night, things have changed quickly, and that's why we've been watching this leading edge so very carefully. And again, all of this down here is untapped atmosphere. So we're talking southern Kalamazoo County, Cass County, St. Joseph, Branch, southern Calhoun. Of course, it's been a very active year there already. That's where we're going to turn our focus as these storms start marching through. We have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Cass County, and that's in effect until 10:45. But we're pretty much, this line is just about past Portland. The leading edge is just moving through right now. And moving through central Eden County now, Charlotte here pretty soon. Bellevue's getting the leading edge. Still, again, pretty strong wind signature with that, but it does look like, again, it's moving out of our area here pretty shortly.
I'm also seeing something, again, this is like very southern fringe of our viewing area, but we do know some folks watch us down here, which we're very grateful for. But this, just mentioned, is moving faster than this tornado warned cell. And just like we saw earlier, we have pretty strong surface winds that are kind of, let me find a better color table here. Oh, I see. 1 second, let me switch radars. Long story short, that's moving in fast. Winds are being sampled aloft by the northern Indiana radar, coming in at about 80 miles per hour as well. So if you live in Berrien, St. Joseph, Cass County, you have a severe thunderstorm warning now, Cass County, for this leftover tornado warning. But you may not be done yet. There's a huge line headed towards you. This is going to be tracking towards places like Niles. I know Michiana Christian Service Camp is in the Niles area. Unsure if you already have campers this early in the season, but just because this severe thunderstorm warning might expire doesn't mean you're in the clear. If you know folks that are there or anywhere camping in West Michigan, in Berrien County, Cass County, potentially even St. Joseph, this is one that you're going to want to watch closely. And this is using a different radar than we typically do. It kind of samples some of these areas in the south side of the state just a touch better. So quite a bit going on here in northern Indiana, in the southern portion of Michigan. And of course, these are folks that have already seen quite a bit in the last 2 years. So I know there's a lot of storm anxiety, apprehension. Just watch for this one to come on shore and know that the latest tornado warning has expired, but we're still watching this line rolling towards Cass County. And again, this is probably going to be tracking through Cass County just south of Pokagon, a little bit of rotation potentially south of there, and then headed towards Fabius, tracking on the south side of Dowagiac.
While we have a quick moment, Kyle, let me know when we're ready. Sounds like we have Olivia Bosser live in Ottawa County, where the storms rolled through earlier this evening and potentially did some wind damage out that way. We've had reporters out and about searching for damage, seeing what we can find tonight. Of course, it's good ground truth. So it sounds like she's ready. Let's go live out to Olivia Bosser. She's in Zeeland tonight, it sounds like. Olivia, I know it's been an active night. What are you seeing out there?
There are crews all throughout Zeeland right now. It is still raining. The storm is still going on, but they're working to clean up damage as it's coming. You can see behind me, I'm at Garfield and McKinney. We do have a massive downed tree. It was blocked. They have now pushed it off so you can get past if you need to. It came from right across the street there. I don't know if you can see, it's a little dark out right now, but it is just massive. It's the whole way over here. There's actually even more on the other side of the road as well. And just up the block at Garfield and Jefferson, we received reports of a downed power line causing fires. Crews are on scene cleaning that up as well right now. But just as a reminder, if you do come across a downed power line, call 911 immediately. DTE says you need to stay 25 to 30 feet away. We're going to continue to track the conditions out here and storm damage as the night goes on. But just as a reminder, stay safe, stay inside until the storm has passed. In Zeeland, Olivia Bosser, News 8.
Thank you, Olivia. Much appreciated. Great to see those ground truth reports in situations like this. Appreciate that. Glad you're staying safe out there. As you mentioned, still seeing some rain out there, but it's starting to wind down. Thank you very much, Olivia, for your report out there. Always helpful to get ground truth.
We are hearing from our web director that the outages have really climbed in Ionia County. 15 minutes ago, it was about 1,600 customers, and now we're up to about 6,000, and that's likely because of that confirmed tornado that Sara and Blake spotted rolling through Ionia County and just exiting the Caledonia area. So this is what's going on now. You can see that the tornado warnings continue to track off to the east. Again, I am apprehensive about this line now coming on shore, especially with how healthy it is lightning-wise. And I do think we need to keep a close eye on Kalamazoo County and Calhoun County. Kalamazoo County's severe thunderstorm warning, oh good, the National Weather Service expired that because there's no active damage, but we're just gonna have to watch these cells as they're subtly tracking off to the northeast, and any velocity, any spin that we can see kind of starting to take shape there. So Blake, I think for a moment I'm just gonna focus in on that portion of the line and just see if we have anything in terms of rotation. Just like we saw earlier, there's just a lot of noise. There's a lot of ragged leading edges on these lines, and occasionally that can be just what you need to produce a quick spin-up tornado. Looks like wind speeds as high as 53 miles per hour. Now, when you're looking for circulation, you look for outbound wind and inbound wind close together, and then the combination is how fast the tornado would be. So this is mostly just outbound wind at 53 miles per hour, but I'm not seeing a strong inbound wind, which is a good sign. Still, it is another one of those points that I think we have to watch pretty closely. It looks like some areas that need to get ready for at least severe thunderstorm winds, maybe 60 miles per hour. Once again, Dowagiac, Fabius, Constantine. Portage looking okay right now, but a lot of lightning headed your way. So changing this back to our classic reflectivity, you can see Pawpaw, Matawan, not severe, just noisy. This is headed towards Kalamazoo, headed towards Portage. Again, not seeing any severe winds with that quite yet. I'm more just concerned about this line and then the one back behind that's coming in off of Lake Michigan, very southwestern portion of our state. Again, it's so far away from the radar that we actually have to change radar sites in order to see the potential wind bursts. Hopefully, commuters here have taken cover. I don't see an alert issued. We'll have to wait and see if the National Weather Service decides to issue an alert for this or if the winds will mix down to the ground. But if so, maybe as high as 70, 80 mile per hour winds gusts just aloft.
Interesting choice. The Weather Service has not issued a fresh warning for Berrien County, which means they're either seeing something we're not, or they just haven't done it yet, waiting to see what happens when it reaches the lakeshore. But the fact that it has so much lightning on it, you're exactly right. Now, if you're in Kalamazoo, you're probably saying, well, the severe thunderstorm warning was canceled, but we're seeing the most lightning we've seen tonight. And that is because we have these storms kind of lingering. In fact, over the last half hour, you can see that the main line has moved east, and we now have new showers and storms that are lifting north into much of, we have a new tornado warning, it looks like. Yeah, we were watching that. We were watching that part pretty closely. New tornado warning has been issued for Cass County, just south of Dowagiac, until 11 o'clock. And this. Okay, let's take a peek.
This is
yep. Could have been something
just south of Pokagon, Dowagiac. Sorry, what's the forward moving speed? Headed towards Cassopolis.
30 at east is what the warning says.
Fabius. This is moving a little on the slower side compared to other portions of the line tonight. So he said 25.
And I know folks in the southern part of our viewing area, if you're in St. Joseph County, you're probably seeing well. That puts a storm on a direct track toward Three Rivers. The good news is there's still a lot of time. This thing is still nearly an hour away. Now, Sarah's saying that it sounds like we may have a bit more of a pronounced debris signature showing up on northern Indiana's radar. Yeah.
They're getting it once again. Hospital Street, M60, Library Road, potential debris. Is that what you're seeing too, Blake?
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure it lines up. I think it does.
It's a little ahead of the reflectivity.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, when I'm sampling this, it keeps popping back to the Grand Rapids radar initially. There we go. So let's see if I can keep it. No, that lines up.
Yeah. Hard to tell for sure. This one seems a little less clear-cut than earlier, but of course the rotation is certainly there. And this is in a favorable environment.
Well,
and I think if we take this storm back even a few hours, I believe the origin of this storm, this was the same storm that produced a large tornado near Merrillville. So this storm has a history of producing tornadoes. So typically when that happens, it doesn't take much to get a new warning on it because of a storm's history and what it's already shown it's capable of doing. So yeah, this is for central Cass County, lifting, as you mentioned, Sarah, kind of east-northeast, and that's going to have it travel pretty much right along M60 again, like we had earlier this spring. So right along M60, moving toward Cassopolis pretty shortly here.
Fabius looks like arrival time 10:50, just north of Fabius, and then Nottawa, likely an arrival time closer to about 11:20 or so. As Blake mentioned, though, a lot can change from here to there. That's why the tornado warning hasn't been included yet, or extended rather, out into St. Joseph County. Currently just for Cass County. And then, yes, it is a little interesting that we haven't had an alert here yet. We'll continue to monitor some outages and check in with the National Weather Service in northern Indiana to hear their thoughts about that. But this is moving slowly, only about 25 miles per hour. This, on the other hand, is tracking in at least at 40. So it'll be interesting to see how these two lines combine. This could very well be headed towards 131. But it's a ways yet. We're talking 11:16, so a full hour. And we've seen how these spin up and then kind of diminish and then spin up again. What this does show us is that the portion of the line that's produced some rotation does look like it's going to be tracking south of Vicksburg at this current point in time, Portage as well. Again, we'll continue to keep you updated if we see anything concerning. Decent amount of lightning in Pawpaw and Matawan still, but not seeing any organization within the internal structure of the storm. So Kalamazoo, Portage, some rumbles of thunder, noisy. I know Calhoun County continues to be in a severe thunderstorm warning. But base velocity checks that, for the most part, most of the potential winds would be on the east side of the county and on the northern side of the county. Little bit of, once again, notches that we're watching. Marshall, probably quite weak winds between this intersection of I-94 and I-69. Right about here and right about here north of Marshall are just a couple spots that we would watch, but not looking nearly as concerning as the one that passed through Ionia County and produced all those outages.
This is one of those tricky ones because it's on the edge of our radar capabilities and on the edge of our viewing areas. So kind of one of those instances where we just have to continue to wait and track it and hopefully get some sort of ground truth at some point. But as you mentioned, Ellen, if you're in Kalamazoo, Van Buren counties, you're seeing a lot of lightning, probably the most you've had all night. In the Pawpaw area, Battle Creek still under a severe thunderstorm warning until 10:45. That they may expire that early. And just as a housekeeping note, tornado warning technically still in effect for Ionia and much of Eden County, but the leading edge of that has moved pretty well east of both of those locations. So that is good news. You're in the clear if you're in Portland, at least from the tornado threat. Same for Vermontville.
Looks like we do have some more rain building in towards Muskegon County. Nothing severe, but especially some spots like Oceana County, Muskegon, Ludington, popular camping spots. Now that we're in summertime, we have to watch that a little bit more closely. Likely going to be seeing the radar pick up again. Not seeing anything concerning for Whitehall, Grand Haven, Walker, Hudsonville, a few flashes of lightning. Holland, once again, seeing the rain fill in. In fact, we could see this downpour lift on the south side of Holland over 196 and then potentially continue to expand into the Zeeland area. This is not looking severe. Very grateful that that first round that came into the Holland area was not severe. Yeah. Winds aloft were looking like 80 miles per hour, and if that just mixed down, it could have done quite a bit of damage. Although in Zeeland, we have had some downed power lines and trees, but it's just so interesting how things come together on a storm day. Still watching this tornado warning rolling through Cass County, and it's crawling, moving quite slowly, not seeing any confirmation quite yet, aside from maybe that very brief potential debris signature. I think that's why they issued the tornado warning, actually, because if you keep it on debris, kind of follows that classic, bullseye pattern, and then it's kind of fizzled now.
One interesting note, Ellen, the Weather Service brought this up, and I was kind of keeping an eye on it, is we have a boundary that is being pushed out by these storms, essentially extends right about here. And you have this storm that's going to start moving along that boundary. So the Weather Service brought up a good point. They said one thing is, as this storm moves up into potentially running, perpendicular to this boundary, we'll have to watch for a potential continuation of tornadic activity as this moves into St. Joseph County, probably tracking eventually up into perhaps Calhoun if it's able to maintain its strength. So that's just kind of an idea of what we're going to be watching here in the near term, is that how does this interact? We saw that tornado that hit Otsego, Plainwell areas, and continued for close to 15 miles because it rode a boundary. That was back in April. So that's something we're going to have to keep a very close eye on as this potentially tornadic storm is now progressing along a boundary that typically enhances the spin and the rotational capabilities of a storm. And that is all the more reason to keep a very close eye on this as, again, it keeps moving essentially east-northeast. In fact, over the last 45 minutes, just to give you an idea, yeah, I'd say pretty well northeast, right along M60, more or less. So, yeah, worth watching. This storm remains interesting, and again, because of the history of this cell, they're keeping it warm, which of course makes sense.
I just got a viewer picture, Blake. Remember when this storm was approaching Camp Geneva and you called it out by name? Viewer picture of from Camp Geneva at about 8:40. And man, did it look powerful. So sending it to our producers. It's from Amy, wondering if we can get it on. But thank you guys so much at home, West Michigan, for keeping us in the loop. We're always going to do our part to try to decipher very messy radar data to let you know what is a threat, what's not, so that you can head to bed or be in the all clear if you are in the all clear, but you can also take cover if you're within the threat. Blake is totally right. Whenever it comes to these small tornadoes, you do have to watch for boundary interaction. And remember, even a small tornado is a tornado. It's impactful and it can do damage. So it's something that we want to take very seriously. And depending on how this outflow outpaces this boundary, or this line, I should say, it'll set up where the steering boundary may be. So it'll be interesting to see if it clips a small portion of Kalamazoo County, or if it continues just into St. Joseph and Calhoun, as Blake has mentioned. And then still quite interested to see what's going on with this round that's just pushed on shore. Again, it's in a tricky spot, but it's lifting towards Benton Harbor and St. Joseph. So base velocity is still coming in. Let's see if I can change radars to northern Indiana. Still coming in quite potent, but mostly hugging the I-80, I-90 areas. So if you have loved ones that live right along this state line, potentially some 70-mile-per-hour winds gusts wouldn't be surprised. Again, unsure why that's not being warned, but we work with a lot of professionals, and northern Indiana is going to focus right there on northern Indiana. So I'm trusting that they're seeing something. Go ahead.
Wondering if the fact that we have this line of storms moving out ahead of it is keeping maybe that second line elevated. Yeah. Keeping the winds from mixing down to the surface without that instability. That's my best working theory, but again, as you mentioned, it looks really impressive. At the very least, very heavy rain and probably producing a little bit of flooding along and south of I-94. My guess is that traffic along 94 is moving along quite slowly tonight, all the way out to Kalamazoo.
It does look like most of West Michigan is settling quite a bit in terms of intensity. South Haven, you might start to get a bit of a light show with the northern fringe of that same area. Blake, I think your guess is probably pretty dead on, because I can't think of any other reason why the wind aloft would not be mixing down. But I suppose we'll see here shortly. As far as the tornado warnings, still 2 active tornado warnings in Michigan currently, but this one is likely going to get trimmed back or expired, if not extended. It looks like severe thunderstorm warnings are extending and not the tornado warnings. So we'll continue to monitor this tornado warning for Cass County, rolling through the heart of Cass County very slowly at about 25 miles per hour or so. And then once we get past all of this rain lifting through closer to about midnight, we're truly in the all clear. And then we have a lovely forecast ahead. We're talking very comfortable conditions, low humidity for Friday, Saturday, Sunday trending mostly dry with some rain through the overnight especially. But this really is going to be one of the best drinks of water that we see if we just hold off on the severe. And the best news, those of you that have lost power over the last couple of days, we're going to have pretty tranquil conditions for restoration and much more comfortable weather for those of you that have to endure the nights. Even tonight, on the backside of this, we're going to start to see the dew points really nosedive, which means the humidity just gets scoured out. This system is just pushing all of the humidity out in storm form at this point. So in general, Holland, little stormy, Kalamazoo, fairly stormy. Still not seeing anything severe over Kalamazoo County. So definitely agree with the fact that we're not seeing a severe thunderstorm warning for Kalamazoo County. Portage right now, some downpours. Looks like you have some thunderstorms headed inbound. Dowagiac looks like maybe some penny-sized hail with that tornado warning to the south of you. And then this is headed still towards the Three Rivers area, but unsure if it's going to be able to survive or if it rides that theoretical boundary, it probably would be north of the Three Rivers region.
This line is still producing tornadoes, especially across northern Indiana tonight, or at least tornado warned storms. We have 6 tornado warnings in a row, extending from north side of Indianapolis all the way up to Cass County. So this is obviously a powerful line that is continuing to potentially produce tornadic activity. The more I look at Cass County, the messier it looks to me at this moment. We still have indications of some sort of rotation here. Again, this is right along M60, just south of M60, between Cassopolis and Brownsville, right in here. But it just doesn't look quite as pronounced as it did to me when this warning was first issued. It just looks messier. And again, we still haven't gotten any confirmation of anything yet. Still some rotation there, but encouraged by what I'm seeing so far out of this warning that technically continues until 11 o'clock.
Still just monitoring viewer reports. It does look like we're seeing new ones trickle in with just down trees, down power lines. Thank you all for sending that our way. If you would like to send some damage reports, it's very helpful. Head to woodtv.com/report it. You can upload it there, send it to us here in the tracking center, send it to our investigative groups, basically our producers, our reporters, our web staff, and then they can dive in to confirm that it is legitimate. And then we have been showing some of these on air just to show you what the storm has produced. It really had a gnarly look to it as it was coming on shore. It has likely produced one tornado in the West Michigan area already, if not a second, which is currently still warned down in the Cass County area. In general, looks like most of the activity intensity really was southern Kent County, especially far southeastern Kent County as it moved into Ionia, potentially some damage in the Hastings area. Probably difficult if you live in those regions to get any damage reports right now because it's just raining so heavily. Probably pretty hefty rainfall rates currently because we have so much moisture in the area. Checking in on this tornado warning in Cass County, it looks like it's losing some of that shape, that feel. I'm going to switch radar sites once more. And I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing. So all in all, I think at this juncture, we're going to return you back to your regularly scheduled programming. If you live in Cass, St. Joseph, stay tuned with this channel on, or continue to check in at woodtv.com. If this looks like it actually is producing damage, we will be right back on in here with you to walk you through. But in general, Blake, unless you're seeing something that I'm not, I feel like we're close to giving the all clear to West Michigan.
Yeah, again, gonna have to keep watching this area right along M60 as it moves into Three Rivers, as you mentioned, but this thing is just messy right now, and there's nothing that tells me that this thing's intensifying. We haven't seen any ground truth reports. Still some rotation there, but there has been, because the storm has produced large tornadoes in northwest Indiana earlier tonight near Merrillville, over in that general vicinity. So again, this thing has a history of producing damage, but has not produced a confirmed tornado in a little while. So that tells me that maybe we're entering a phase of this event where storms are starting to become a bit more elevated, where it may be harder for a storm to produce a tornado. And we do still have some rotation that's showing up, but it's been showing up for a while, and overall I'm not seeing this storm strengthening. So perhaps, Ellen, best course of action to kind of get ready to reset for our 11 o'clock newscast, and if a new warning is issued, we can hop back on for St. Joseph or Branch.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is going to give us a chance to just look at all the radar data in post, make sure it lines up with what we're seeing. So folks, we will join you again at 11 p.m. on Wood TV. And for now, thank you for joining us. Thank you for staying safe. And thank you for sending us some of those viewer reports throughout this storm. It's been very, very appreciated. We'll return you to programming.
At Mount Pleasant, it was cloudy, with a temperature of 79. In the Upper Peninsula, Sault Ste. Marie was 69 degrees under mostly cloudy skies, and in Marquette, rain was falling with a temperature of 59. In neighboring states, Milwaukee was 68 degrees under cloudy skies. Chicago was 72 degrees with thunder. Fort Wayne was 81 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Once again, at 10 p.m., Grand Rapids was 69 degrees with a thunderstorm. On Lake Michigan, at the Muskegon Lighthouse, winds were southeast at 13 knots and the temperature was 65 degrees. At the South Haven Lighthouse, winds were northwest at 1 knot and the temperature was 67 degrees. At the Northern Lake Michigan buoy, winds were west at 6 knots. Lake water temperature 51 degrees. Air temperature 54 degrees. Wave heights 1 foot. Now here is your local forecast. Rest of tonight, rain showers and a chance of thunderstorms. Lows in the upper 50s. South winds 15 to 20 miles per hour becoming west after midnight. Gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Chance of rain 100%. Friday, mostly sunny. Highs in the mid-70s. West winds 10 to 20 miles per hour with gusts to around 35 miles per hour. Friday night, clear. Lows in the upper 50s. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Gusts up to 30 miles per hour in the evening. Saturday, sunny. Highs in the lower 80s. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour increasing to 15 to 20 miles per hour in the afternoon. Gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Saturday night, rain showers and a chance of thunderstorms. Lows in the upper 50s. West winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Gusts up to 35 miles per hour decreasing to 25 miles per hour after midnight. Chance of rain 90%. Sunday, partly sunny in the morning then clearing. A 20% chance of rain showers. Highs in the upper 60s. Sunday night, mostly clear. Lows in the lower 50s. Monday, sunny. Highs around 70. Monday night, partly cloudy. Lows in the lower 50s. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Highs in the lower 70s. Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a chance of rain showers and a slight chance of thunderstorms. Lows in the mid-50s. Chance of rain 40%. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a 40% chance of rain showers. Highs in the mid-70s. Wednesday night, rain showers likely and a slight chance of thunderstorms. Lows in the upper 50s. Chance of rain 70%. Thursday, partly sunny in the morning then becoming mostly sunny. A 50% chance of rain showers. Highs in the mid-70s. Tornado watch number 318 remains in effect until 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time Friday for the following counties: in Michigan, Allegan, Barrie, Ionia, Isabella, Mecosta and Montcalm. Remember, a tornado watch means the conditions are favorable for the development of severe weather, including tornadoes, large hail and damaging winds, in and close to the watch area. While severe weather may not be imminent, persons should remain alert for rapidly changing weather conditions and listen for later statements and possible warnings. Stay tuned to NOAA Weather Radio, commercial radio and television outlets, or internet sources for the latest severe weather information. The tornado warning for southwestern Ionia and northeastern Barrie counties is canceled. The storm which prompted the warning has moved out of the area. Therefore, the warning has been canceled. However, gusty winds are still possible with this thunderstorm. A tornado watch remains in effect until 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time for south central and southwestern Michigan. The tornado warning for southeastern Ionia County is canceled. The storms which prompted the warning have moved out of the warned area. Therefore, the warning has been canceled. A tornado watch remains in effect until 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time for south-central Michigan. The severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Ionia County is canceled. The severe thunderstorm which prompted the warning has moved out of the warned area. Therefore, the warning has been canceled. A tornado watch remains in effect until 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time for south-central Michigan. The following information concerns beach hazards for the following counties in Michigan: Allegan, Mason, Muskegon, Oceana, and Ottawa. What? High wave action, strong currents, and dangerous swimming conditions expected. Piers may be heavily swamped by waves. Where? Mason, Oceana, Muskegon, Ottawa, Allegan, and Van Buren counties. When? From this evening through Friday morning. Impacts: strong currents can pull swimmers into deeper water and high waves can sweep people off piers. Additional details: winds will increase this evening out of the southwest, building waves to 3 to 6 feet tonight. The waves will persist into the morning hours of Friday. Dangerous waves and currents are expected tonight and Friday morning. Storms that sweep across the lake this evening may reach severe levels. Remain out of the water to avoid hazardous swimming conditions and do not venture out on piers. Please check with your local authorities on potential beach closures. Thanks for listening to NOAA Weather Radio Station WZ2560 in Canonsburg, transmitting on a frequency of 162.55 MHz. The current time is 10:39 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Conditions around the area at 10 p.m. At Grand Rapids, a thunderstorm was reported. The temperature was 69 degrees, the dew point 66, and the relative humidity 90%. The wind was southwest at 18 miles an hour, gusting to 29. The pressure was 29.73 inches and rising. Across the remainder of southwest lower Michigan, a thunderstorm was reported, with a temperature of 65 at Muskegon and 68 at Benton Harbor. Rain was falling, with a temperature of 73 at Battle Creek and 68 at South Haven. It was cloudy, with a temperature of 71 at Kalamazoo and 79 at Lansing. At Sparta, the weather conditions were not available. In southeast lower Michigan, it was mostly cloudy, and temperatures were between 78 and 82 degrees. Across northern lower Michigan, at Traverse City, rain was falling, with a temperature of 72. At Alpena, it was mostly cloudy, with a temperature of 67. At Mount Pleasant, it was cloudy, with a temperature of 79. In the Upper Peninsula, Sault Ste. Marie was 69 degrees under mostly cloudy skies, and in Marquette, rain was falling with a temperature of 59. In neighboring states, Milwaukee was 68 degrees under cloudy skies. Chicago was 72 degrees with thunder. Fort Wayne was 81 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Once again, at 10 p.m., Grand Rapids was 69 degrees with a thunderstorm. On Lake Michigan, at the Muskegon Lighthouse, winds were southeast at 13 knots and the temperature was 65 degrees. At the South Haven Lighthouse, winds were northwest at 1 knot and the temperature was 67 degrees. At the Northern Lake Michigan buoy, winds were west at 6 knots. Lake water temperature 51 degrees. Air temperature 54 degrees. Wave heights 1 foot. Now here is your local forecast. Rest of tonight, rain showers and a chance of thunderstorms. Lows in the upper 50s. South winds 15 to 20 miles per hour becoming west after midnight. Gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Chance of rain 100%. Friday, mostly sunny. Highs in the mid-70s. West winds 10 to 20 miles per hour with gusts to around 35 miles per hour. Friday night, clear. Lows in the upper 50s. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Gusts up to 30 miles per hour in the evening. Saturday, sunny. Highs in the lower 80s. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour, increasing to 15 to 20 miles per hour in the afternoon. Gusts up to 35 miles per hour. Saturday night, rain showers and a chance of thunderstorms. Lows in the upper 50s. West winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Gusts up to 35 miles per hour, decreasing to 25 miles per hour after midnight. Chance of rain 90%. Sunday, partly sunny in the morning, then clearing. A 20% chance of rain showers. Highs in the upper 60s. Sunday night, mostly clear. Lows in the lower 50s. Monday, sunny. Highs around 70. Monday night, partly cloudy. Lows in the lower 50s. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Highs in the lower 70s. Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a chance of rain showers and a slight chance of thunderstorms. Lows in the mid-50s. Chance of rain 40%. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a 40% chance of rain showers. Highs in the mid-70s. Wednesday night, rain showers likely and a slight chance of thunderstorms. Lows in the upper 50s. Chance of rain 70%. Thursday, partly sunny in the morning, then becoming mostly sunny. A 50% chance of rain showers. Highs in the mid-70s. Tornado watch number 318 remains in effect until 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time Friday for the following counties: in Michigan, Allegan, Barry, Ionia, Isabella, Mecosta, and Montcalm. Remember, a tornado watch means the conditions are favorable for the development of severe weather, including tornadoes, large hail and damaging winds, in and close to the watch area. While severe weather may not be imminent, persons should remain alert for rapidly changing weather conditions and listen for later statements and possible warnings. Stay tuned to NOAA Weather Radio, commercial radio and television outlets, or internet sources for the latest severe weather information. The tornado warning for southeastern Ionia County is canceled. The storms which prompted the warning have moved out of the warned area. Therefore, the warning has been canceled. A tornado watch remains in effect until 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time for south central Michigan. The severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Ionia County is canceled. The severe thunderstorm which prompted the warning has moved out of the warned area. Therefore, the warning has been canceled. A tornado watch remains in effect until 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time for south central Michigan. The following information concerns beach hazards for the following action, strong currents, and dangerous swimming conditions expected. Piers may be heavily swamped by waves. Ware, Mason, Oceana, Muskegon, Ottawa, Allegan.
Hey, West Michigan, we do want to let you know that that tornado warning that we've been watching through Cass County has now been extended into St. Joseph County. Right now, we don't have confirmation that there is a tornado on the ground. However, there is rotation that's occasionally been popping in and out on this storm, and it's concerning enough, and especially given the location that it's tracking into the Three Rivers area, that the Northern Indiana National Weather Service office has issued a tornado warning. So because of this, we are going to stay on with you for a bit. This includes Three Rivers, this includes Constantine, Sturgis under this tornado warning, although the most likely location for the tornado would still just be this tail portion of Cass County and the very eastern side of the county, and then tracking basically due east, if not just a touch northeast, at about 45 miles per hour or so. So because of this, we do want to just stay on with you for a little bit. A lot of lightning with this part of the storm. Looking at the northern Indiana radar, just to confirm where we have a little bit of shear, a couple of spots that I'm seeing where there is some rotation, mainly right about here. And again, if we line up where our reflectivity is, there is a touch of a notch here. So very ragged line I do think that most of Cass County has a lot of rain and lightning, but it's right here towards the very far eastern portion of Cass County, close to the border basically, that we are going to be seeing the biggest threat for a tornado. So that being said, likely going to be seeing the sirens stop for Cass County within the next 5-10 minutes or so. Meanwhile, we do have to watch again for some of these small areas of rotation. So I'm just going to rewind this 15 minutes, see if we can get a little bit of motion. And it does look like that couplet continues to want to persist, but it's also almost like traveling south along the line as it moves forward. So there's a 1040 or so. Here's as we've gotten closer to 1048, right about here. And as that continues to lift into St. Joseph, it is rolling towards Constantine, probably north of White Pigeon. But because it keeps tracking south, if you're in White Pigeon, please head to a safe spot in your home. This tornado warning is for St. Joseph and technically eastern Cass County until about 11:30. We're at least going to be on and tracking it for you until about 11, and then news will join us as well. And during our news segment, we're also going to revisit what happened likely in southern Kent County and Ionia County and a possible tornado touchdown there. This includes some places like Klinger Lake, Nottawa, Vandalia, Donald Lake, Fishers Lake, Union, Jones, Fawn River, Leonidas, and Cary Lake. Just very important to not be in a vehicle, instead go inside. I'm going to zoom in just a touch. More than anything, I think Constantine is one of the spots that would need to take this one seriously, even though we're not seeing any debris. So near, I'm not sure if you're on, Blake. 1058.
There we go.
There you are.
It's been the most persistent part of the line for sure, is that part that's moving toward Constantine, even though they warned all of St. Joseph County, which they probably did just because there are a few circulations within that segment. But the most persistent has been, as you mentioned, just west of Constantine. And again, it's even hard to pick it out in here, but we have these greens and reds, kind of a broad area of rotation right in here that's just about to cross over into St. Joseph County. Three Rivers, I don't see any imminent, very organized, strong rotation that's moving in your direction. We don't have confirmation that of anything on the ground, as Ellen mentioned. We've just been watching this area, and in fact, we went off the air even when the tornado warning was still in effect for Cass County, because we really didn't think there was much going on there, and that looks like it's still the case. But again, given the history of St. Joseph County, what happened back on March 6th, I know a lot of folks down there are hypersensitive to tornadoes, and for good reason. And so we're going to keep a close eye on this as it moves in to St. Joseph County, which is just about to do. And again, not a whole lot there right now. Just again, this is the same cell that a few hours ago produced several strong tornadoes, one of which hit Merrillville, Indiana, in far northwest Indiana, and did a lot of damage over there. So we are continuing to watch very closely. What do we say? This is moving at what, 45 miles per hour now?
That is what the warning said, which is a little surprising because the initial tornado warning was tracking at 25, but I think that second line has kind of caught up with it. It's helped to accelerate it forward. If we look at reflectivity here,
I was going to say,
and expand outward, you can see that that batch of storminess that we were watching over Lake Michigan, so stepping back here, this is 1006, has overrun this line. So the line that initially produced the tornado warning in Cass has now combined with the one that was moving faster, coming in off of Lake Michigan. We do have a new batch of lightning that's blossomed up as that collision has taken place. But this kind of boundary interaction usually doesn't spur new tornadoes necessarily. Usually it's when you have storms coming in at an angle together, one running into another, or as Blake was talking about earlier this evening, a boundary interaction. All that to say, we're really just monitoring the leading edge, and It looks like they
Yeah, I
are
was just
switching
gonna
to
say.
confirmed tornado warning.
Just south of the state line, and I was just looking at that, Ellen, because
Separate. Okay, yes.
tornado producing storm located just south of the state line, and that
So-
is moving east at 30.
So sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I'm trying to see who confirmed it. It must have gotten a call or maybe a report from scanners. But again, that's just south of the state line. It's right where the line kind of comes in the most, so it makes sense that would be producing something.
So this is Bristol and very northern Indiana. Unfortunately, it looks like if this is in fact a debris signature, this might move directly over Bristol and then continue just south of I-80, headed towards Bonneville Mills. But very thin slice in terms of a confirmed tornado warning there, separate from this tornado warning that's been issued for Cass and St. Joseph. I just took the liberty of drawing a circle where Three Rivers is. And if we switch back to our winds data, as Blake was mentioning, it's just messy but not strong. So more disorganized than anything. The only organized part of the line that we're seeing is a little bit further south towards Constantine. And it is possible to have a tornado on the ground near I-80 and a tornado near Constantine. It's definitely happened before. Tornadoes can actually form quite close to each other. So one would not negate the other. Likely going to see an expiration of this tornado warning that's kind of left over in Cass County. Pokagon, right now seeing a lot of lightning, but no threats. Dowagiac, same story. And then this is all south of Van Buren County, Kalamazoo County. So if you live in Van Buren, Kalamazoo, Calhoun, maybe you're a little nervous, apprehensive with the tornado warning that feels so close by, just know that conditions directly over your county where you live and upstream looking really tame. So a couple hours ago, we were monitoring this just to see storm motion, because we knew that there was a small chance that it could continue to produce a tornado. But right now, I'm just seeing a lot of rain for Kalamazoo County, Calhoun County, Van Buren County have a lot of light to moderate rain and some flashes of lightning. We still have a decent amount of rain that's over Lake Michigan that's yet to roll on shore to Muskegon. It's taken its time. That's the back edge of this. After that passes in, we're going to see the humidity drop and the storm threat completely diminish. Still not seeing too much of a signature, but I also think that just considering where this storm is headed, folks want to play it safe rather than sorry, considering this is Three Rivers, Union City type region on the map.
We're just considering how fast that tornado popped up over Bristol, Indiana, just south of the state line. It just shows that this storm continues to have potential to very quickly spin one up. And it looks like the most organized rotation here on our side of the state line continues to be that part that is moving pretty close to Constantine. Now, nothing that would suggest an immediate tornado threat per se, but it's been persistently rotating, which of course lends credence to the idea that this storm is still strong and still capable of spinning something up, and that's kind of the area we're watching right in here. So we have the confirmed tornado just south of the state line, and again, just north of Mottville, Constantine. Three Rivers leading edge is moving through your area right now, and don't see anything that suggests tornadic threat. In fact, even just looking at the shape of this line, wouldn't necessarily expect there to be a tornado in this part. It kind of makes sense it is down in this general vicinity. So continuing to watch, but overall encouraged by what we're seeing in the Three Rivers area. Again, it's really Constantine, White Pigeon that has the best potential or strongest rotation right now, but again, nothing confirmed on the ground on the Michigan side of the state line.
We're going to continue to stay on for the next 3 minutes or so and then just roll into the evening news. The 11 p.m. news on Wood TV is where we'll continue our coverage. And from there, we're also going to preview what's on deck for tomorrow. And we're also going to revisit the potential tornado from earlier this evening. This really was a powerful line of storms, 80-mile-per-hour winds just hovering off the surface, racing over Ottawa County. It is a wonder that we did not see more power outage reports there. Thank goodness. Here's a look at the storm reports today. And we have had some really powerful tornadoes further to the south. By the way, that is where we expected to see the most in terms of tornado activity. I was going to pull up So here's where we had the risk earlier today. This is an updated map, unfortunately, but we had that moderate risk that was in Indiana, mainly Illinois, and my goodness, that's absolutely where we saw some of the most powerful reports. So this is technically a really accurate representation of what the threat risk was today, considering we've had several tornado warnings in our area, possibly a tornado touchdown, which very likely occurred. And then in the Zeeland area, a lot of outages and some downed trees. So tonight, tomorrow, we are going to be walking some of that radar imagery back and seeing if we can kind of piece together what went down in West Michigan.
So again, just keep an eye on St. Joseph County as they remain under a tornado warning. And again, the few reasons why we've been covering this the way we have, because of the history of St. Joseph County this year, and also because this cell produced several strong tornadoes earlier this evening, doing significant damage across northwest Indiana, just south of the I-94 corridor. The storm has survived for now close to 4 hours and is still exhibiting signs of rotation. In fact, it looks like we just had a tornado touchdown south of the state line. So this is a close call for St. Joseph County, and that tornado warning remains in effect. Thankfully, as of this moment, nothing to me that would suggest that we have something in progress, which of course is great news, but still just have to keep our eyes on it given the history of what has happened tonight.
I'm just letting our crews know what our plan is here. Got a lot of folks behind the scenes that help us do what we do, that help to put all of this on air, keep everything very controlled, and so it doesn't get off the rails, and letting them know that we are going to be staying on for the 11 p.m. news. I'm going to trust that once the clock rolls over to 11 p.m., then I'm going to turn it on over to news. If that changes, someone behind the scenes, please just let me know. Really messy radar data here, messy rain, seeing a lot of lightning. As Blake mentioned, this is the cleanest part of the line, and it's the only concerning part of the line in general, but it doesn't look like we're seeing any indication of strong rotation. So that is a huge relief. There have been a few other times tonight where we had what looked like rotation and it did not translate down to the surface. So hopeful that that's what's going to take place here in St. Joseph County as this last portion of the line continues to roll across a pretty populated and impacted area. We're going to go ahead and turn it on over to the 11 p.m. news. If not, just let me know. Sounds like they're still getting things ready behind the scenes.
Tornado warning is continuing until 11:30 for Cass and St. Joseph counties. Remains radar indicated. Again, we have that little sliver of confirmed tornado just south of the state line, but as of now, still radar indicated for the possibility of a tornado. Again, right now it's moving over Constantine, that main area of rotation, but thankfully haven't seen anything too substantial yet. Yeah, we're ready. We've been ready. Let's go ahead and head over to Brian and Amber.
Another round of severe weather. Storm Team 8 tracking strong winds and heavy rain headed through West Michigan.
We have received reports of downed trees and power lines. This all comes a day after powerful storms caused some damage around the area.
And hi, everyone. I'm Brian Sterling.
I'm Amber Kriska. Storm Team 8 has been tracking the second round in West Michigan.
Tonight, storms are coming as thousands around West Michigan were already without power. According to the Consumers Energy outage map, just around 7 o'clock tonight, there were some 17,000 customers without electricity. That number has risen to 48,000.
We do have team coverage for you tonight. Our reporters are out there taking a look at the damage. Blake and Ellen are both here.
Hey everyone, so thank you for joining us tonight. We've had several alerts across basically the entirety of West Michigan. We've been talking about We've been talking about how this has been a pretty intense setup. Luckily, this rolled through with very little damage along the lakeshore, aside from some downed lines. And as Amber and Brian just mentioned, even more without power. This was round 2 of a 2-day type setup where the heat and the humidity set the stage for some powerful storms. Now, you'll notice we still have active alerts across portions of Michigan. We still have an active tornado warned cell. Lately, we've been watching this very closely. Myself, Blake, Sara, Flynn, and of course the meteorologists at the National Weather Service. This warning that's just on the north side of the Indiana state line doesn't look yet like it may have produced damage in the St. Joseph County area. And it does look like if there is a portion of this line that could produce damage, it would most likely be south of places like Three Rivers. Now, in contrast, we do have a confirmed tornado warned cell that's on the south side of the border. So this is north of Goshen, basically hugging that I-80 area. So still an active night for portions of Michigan and Indiana, but luckily most of West Michigan, just a lot of heavy rain, which is exactly what we like to see. Now, Blake, we did have potentially a tornado touchdown earlier this evening. Walk us through that just a bit.
Yeah, Ellen, it does look like this was an active night where we were tracking all sorts of different things, but there's one area in particular that looks like it may have produced a tornado. That's as it moved through southern Kent County. In fact, we were able to see debris on the radar. That's a telltale sign that we had one touchdown. So as we loop this over a several-hour period, you can see the radar has been active, but there's one area in particular where we think that we did have a likely tornado touchdown. And to do that, we can look at our rotation tracker. Now, this looks really messy, but where we see these shades of yellow, that's where the rotation was strongest. That's also where we saw that debris likely being wafted up into the air that was just east of Caledonia. So we were tracking this on the south side of Whitneyville, south side of Alaska, Alto. Again, this is far southeastern Kent County. Doesn't look like it was on the ground for very long. That's typically the case with these sort of situations where we have quick spin-up tornadoes. This then progressed into a damaging wind situation as it moved into Ionia County, where we have a lot of power outages tonight. But still, this looks like almost certainly an area where the National Weather Service will be headed out to survey, of course, very close to their office, right up in Cascade. So if we had a tornado touchdown tonight, which we think we did, it's almost certainly right here in southeastern Kent County, an area that has been hit hard time and time again over the last few years, Brian and Amber.
All right, Blake and Ellen, thank you. And during the storms this evening, fire crews were sent out to a home in Zeeland for what appeared to be a downed power line sparking a fire.
News 8's Olivia Bosser is live from Zeeland now for us. Olivia, what are you seeing out there?
We've seen many crews working to clean up around West Michigan after the storm. Here in Zeeland, it is letting up, but if you were here about 2 hours ago, we were dealing with high winds and a torrential downpour. We do have a very large tree branch down. I'm on West McKinley Avenue right now. It's pushed off to the side, but when we first got here, it was blocking the road. And like I said, it's pushed off, but you still need to be cautious. On our way here, we ran across another large tree branch blocking part of the road as well. So if you're out tonight, be careful. Watch for debris on the road while crews work hard to get it cleaned up. And as we said, just up the block from here at Garfield and Jefferson, we received reports of a downed wire that started a fire. Crews were already on that scene as well. But as a reminder, if you do come across a downed wire, call 911 immediately and stay at least 25 to 30 feet away from it, according to DTE. We're going to head out to Duncan here in just a moment, who's also tracking storm damage for you. But even as the storm ends, make sure you're being careful. Give crews lots of time to get any damage cleaned up. In Zeeland, Olivia Bosser, News 8.
Yeah, Olivia, a lot of trees down both last night and tonight. A lot of cleanup underway.
Definitely hear the crews out there working tonight, and first responders and crews were also busy near Caledonia.
Yeah. News 8's Duncan McLean, as mentioned, joins us live from Whitneyville with what he's seeing there. Hey, Duncan.
Brian, Amber, we are in that hard-hit part of the county that Blake mentioned here in Whitneyville, really Alto in the greater Caledonia area. Right now, Caledonia Fire and Consumers Energy, the last crews on scene here, where a tree brought some power lines down very close to a home here on Whitneyville Avenue. We did speak with the homeowner. He said he's the only one who lives there. He made it out okay, and there doesn't seem to be a ton of damage to the house, although some of the siding might have been hurt by the fire that was burning inside the tree limb that you see across the wires when we got here about a half hour ago. In terms of live conditions, the rain has opened back up again. It was dry for just a couple of minutes before we came on air, but we are seeing that rain and hearing just some residual thunder here in this part of town. We did speak to a couple neighbors about the strength of the storm. They said it was pretty strong, but pretty short. Really 5 good minutes of heavy gusts. They heard a couple loud bangs as some trees fell in the area, and then prepared to lose power for a second consecutive night. A neighbor who lives across the street here said they were out of power after yesterday's storm for 16 hours. He has a generator. A lot of people in this part of town do, but that doesn't mean it wasn't an inconvenience. Now they're likely out again. Consumers has cut power to this house so they can continue cleaning up that wire. A cautionary tale for most people involved in this storm. We're seeing a lot of reports like this all around the area. For now, live in Alto, Duncan McLean, News 8.
Nothing but darkness out there except for the lights and the flashing vehicles that are working to restore it. Duncan, thank you.
It's going to be another busy night and long night for many families. If you do see storm damage and it's safe to get video and pictures, be sure to send us your photos and videos to woodtv.com/reportit.